Welcome to the stream, everybody. Young and Harry have the same color on my screen, but not on that screen up there. Harry, why don't you select your color for the name? Because you show up as yellow over here, as Jung's yellow, and over there show up as green, as British racing green, which is a lovely color, honestly. So what are we doing today? I'm sweating bullets, because we are gonna help the NCR. Potentially, we're gonna help the NCR. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen, because I want to help them. Maybe there's something missing here. The LOD isn't loading properly. Why is the LOD not loading properly? My God. Oh, this mod pack is cursed. Helios 1 in the middle of the night. It's got a lot of antennas in the distance. Oi, folks. What's up?
Keep walking.
You do realize it's not a road.
This is a restricted area. State your business.
What did I do? I didn't do anything. I am with the NCR. Anything I can do to help?
Your being here is a start, soldier. We aren't exactly overflowing with troopers here. But if you really want to help us...
How did I change my color? I don't know. I don't remember.
He's been trying to get this place running for months and hasn't made any forward progress.
Shouldn't there be more people than this defending a power plant?
There should be more of us. But we aren't getting much power in this plant. For various reasons. So... none of our enemies have a big interest in it either. Not like Hoover Dam, anyway. We had a real fighting force here just long enough to take it from the Brotherhood of Steel. And they got sent east to the dam like everybody else. Caesar's Legion sends skirmishes every so often. Prodding for weaknesses, mostly. The reality is, if they really wanted it...
If you aim with an armed, you block instead. Why was the Brotherhood of Steel here?
Damn,
I know, Jung, I know.
Put up a hell of a fight, though.
I just want to punch them. I don't want to block.
21-1, maybe?
They have pistols.
They held out as long as they could.
As well.
Lost most of their
Stealth
force
boys
before
for
they
buildings.
retreated. Gave us a little parting gift, too. They had
Oh
some
yeah,
of the
I see
plant
what you
running,
mean.
But they shut it all down. Enabled an old security system, too, to keep us away from the controls.
Yeah, why are you here, though, and not on the front lines? Isn't that more important?
I ask myself the same question all the time. But energy's hard to come by around here. It gives you more control over this area than troops ever could. If we lose the dam to the Legion, this little plant may be our last stand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Try not to make any trouble.
I'm trying, but that lucky old son. Talk to the idiot wearing sunglasses in the back of the Helios 1. We're gonna talk to some glasses that are wearing an idiot. It's complicated. Lieutenant Haggerty. She doesn't have a very good posture. Oh, look at this mud. He's all injured and stuff.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Yeah, I need to... It's a good thing that I was able to lie there, because otherwise I don't think I would have been able...
What is it? A busy woman.
I'm fine. I don't think I would have been able to come in here. This place is big. And it's got enemies in it. And, yeah. It is claimed by the NCR, though, so... We'll find out how this is gonna work out. Excuse me. Hi. You have a computer over here. I can mess with the computer?
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
That sounds like a yes to me, honestly. Archimedes testing. On Tuesday, February 16th at 2 p.m., technicians will be running a test for Archimedes and its connectivity with our plant security system. Under no circumstances should any employee be outdoors on the plant grounds until the alarm klaxon has ceased and an all clear is given. We have death and dismemberment waivers from all employees on file and are not responsible for any accidents that should occur during this procedure. Protective eyewear is mandatory for all technicians observing from the tower deck. This is all pre-war as far as I know. The initial testing of Archimedes was a success, though not an unqualified one. Several minor systems were overloaded despite all precautions taken, and the 2.5 minutes of downtime following the test is something we can work on improving. More importantly, we received reports from nearby facilities that they experienced system-frying power fluctuations at the time of the test, notably the Black Mountain communications array, which actually is going to tie into when we go to the Black Mountain, I think, potentially. I'm pretty sure it does tie into that. And the military bunkers at Hidden Valley that we have been to already, and we didn't know there were military bunkers down there. We're going to make it a priority next time to prevent such collateral damage. Wait a minute. That's pre-war, isn't it? Oh, so maybe it doesn't tie into the Black Mountain thing. We've heard of the Black Mountain. We got a radio signal from there. Brigadier General Scott Lowy of the U.S. Army will be visiting the facility starting next Monday and staying on site indefinitely. When Archimedes goes live, he will be the only person here allowed to authorize its use for anything other than a test. Civilian employees are not required to salute, but it is expected of everyone that you observe thorough grooming and hygiene regimens and dress neatly while the General is with us. The General expects the best from all his men, and Poseidon men should be no different in the presence of such a fine and decorated soldier. The women can be different, it's fine. What can you tell... Can I tell him is the quote-unquote thing. A Poseidon energy publication for new employees. As a member of... Oh, this is fun. It's about corporate espionage. As a member of the Poseidon family, it will be natural for you to become enthusiastic about the incredible endeavors you'll be undertaking with us, and to want to tell others. But just a second there, my good man. Let's take a minute to consider what could happen if company information fell into the wrong hands, and whose hands those might be. Quote, can I tell my wife, unquote. Well, let's say you do. You tell her not to tell anyone. Your bond is sacred, but a woman's idle tongue is the devil's plaything, not yours. No sooner do you leave for work the next day, she's on the phone telling her best friend, Candy. Then Candy tells Gertie, which is a name. Gertie tells Maxine. Maxine tells Lulu. And while Lulu is telling Doris, a Chinese agent posing as an American operator listens in, and the next thing she's on the line with the Forbidden City, singing like a treasonous canary, because she's a woman. Because of the cannery. The following day, you and your wife are bound in shackles, and China is sitting at the controls of our entire arsenal. What can I tell my children? What father wouldn't want his kids to look up to him? Don't be that father. Because the kids, they shouldn't do that. One day at school, Ivan Bulikov will get more than lunch money from out of your kids. He'll have the national secrets, and while they're parading him through Red Square as a national hero, your children will be working in forced labor camps, because that's what we have in the U.S. And in fact, that is the case, in fact. And also, it would make a lot of sense that they would, but it is canonical, I'm pretty sure, forced labor camps for the U.S. No, I mean, it is also canonical because it's from before the 50s. The U.S. had forced labor camps during World War II. But I'm talking after World War II in the setting of Fallout. But anyway, right next to you and your beautiful young wife, who's now wrinkled and homely since the communists have banned makeup because it expresses individuality. Quote, can I tell my drinking buddies, unquote. Surely, if there's somewhere safe a man can place his trust, it's with his other male friends. But how much do you really know about them? Are they friends? Or comrades? Don't be too sure. Even the most transparent window can hide secrets when it's lined with iron curtains. And that's obviously a reference to the wall, I'm pretty sure. Is the wall... It is a reference to the wall, but I don't think the wall is canonical in the setting of Fallout. I'm talking about the Berlin Wall, obviously. Always remember, you are a member of of two families now, and you have obligations to both. But your obligation to the Poseidon family is greater, because while your children may misbehave, and your friends may change, and your wife may nag and cheat on you because she's a woman, Poseidon Energy will always be paying for and protecting your way of life. Don't tell anybody about anything about the projects of Poseidon Energy. When pressed, tell them that your job is repetitive and not worth discussing, but the company is nurturing and gives good benefits and is always looking for new talent. I like that last bit. I always remember this particular thing over here. It's about as goofy as it gets, and it is pretty in-depth as satire Fallout style satire goes. Some interesting things in here. What is that? Just around. Let's get some light up in here. I might need the food over here because I haven't eaten in a while, and of course we're trying to cozy up. Ooh, pulse grenades. My god, these people just have things lying around. Hi, I definitely didn't steal everything from you. Let's get out of here before they notice. The Iron Curtain. That's the Iron Curtain. Ah, it's a different thing then. Is it the thing made of missiles? It's the thing made of missiles, isn't it? I need to go to the lot. I will change that. Oh. It is not the thing made of missiles. It is what I thought it was. I just didn't realize it was that big. I'm not sure if it's canonically correct to talk about it in Fallout, though. Makeup. Who had time to think about makeup? Didn't have electricity and hot water. Okay, so I need to go into the settings. No. Mod configuration. That's the one. There's no such things in here. What the heck? What did you say that I should go? Go to display in setting. Oh, right. Yes. Display. Probably should have general subtitles on. I don't know why they're off. Oh, it's item fade, isn't it? That's what... No, that's a loading issue. That's a loading issue, because the items don't fade after they load. They just take forever to load, which is the problem. So that's definitely a bug. Press in the LOD hinge, says Jung. Yeah. Tree LOD. Yeah, not sure. You should check old World War II videos for factory workers and soldiers. Those are just as funny as the one you just read. Yes, I know. That's why it's funny. It's referential. And it's, yeah, basically, it's obviously setting, building, and all that. Sunset Sarsaparilla. Anyway, let's hope that I can help the NCR here without being like, but I want to help the Brotherhood, or anything like that. Got a lot of machines going on in here, and we have people bugging out. It's fine. They don't mind me jumping over. Do you mind me jumping over? No. Well. We have all the controls. And mugs of coffee. Or, I assume it's mugs of coffee. Could be mugs of anything, really. Tinted reading glasses. Why do you need tinted reading glasses? It's reading glasses. You don't need to tint them. What the heck? For me, it shows up in... yeah, I don't know what that is. I wanted to say that game is capped at 4 GB. It's impossible to make it use more than 4 GB. I don't know how to test the LOD. That thing just happens every once in a while. And once it's loaded, it doesn't stop being loaded, as I was saying. Like, if I go outside, the building is going to be there. It just happens with buildings, though. It doesn't happen only with buildings.
I should organize our medical supplies.
Shut up. It doesn't happen just with buildings. Metal box. Dante, welcome to the stream. I just finished Wasteland 3 and now I'm sad and without an RPG to play. Well, you should play it again. On maximum difficulty. Did you play it on maximum difficulty? Is this the control room? I think so. Excuse me, are your glasses the idiot wearing glasses? Or are you the idiot wearing glasses? I'm sorry, I'm an idiot who doesn't wear glasses. We got machines over here. Respirators and whatnot. Excuse me.
Who the hell are you?
Dalzinho, welcome to the stream. How's it going?
Replacing me, aren't they?
They... Fantastic is your name. Why are you worried about being replaced?
Worried? Do I look worried?
Max
to you?
difficulty, get one-shotted,
I got this
yes.
under control, baby. No one else can do what I do here.
People say that you need to... What do you do here?
What else? I'm in charge.
People
This
say that
whole
you need to plan
operation
everything to
depends
play on
me.
maximum difficulty.
No fantastic, no power. Got the whole NCR suckling my teats, and it feels so good.
Okay, what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, see, we're getting power because the guy running this place is fantastic. But the mirrors outside aren't aimed right, so we're running at 1% efficiency, and I guess that just isn't good enough for some assholes. Trouble is, most of the controls for this place aren't here. They're in the tower. And that place has some crazy pre-war security system that the dumb shit NCR set off when they took over. Killed 2 guys. Now they won't go near it. They want me to make an omelet, but I can't break any of their eggs. Know what I'm saying?
8.5 for Wasteland. Disappointing ending cards. Well, that's just par for the course, really. I wanted a bit more lore and detail on how the world changed. Oh, I see. On the other hand, the soundtrack is outstanding. The soundtrack is really good. My plan is a nuke in their faces. Also running over is a guaranteed kill. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know you could do any of that. I haven't. What episode did I record today? I think I recorded episode 15, and I only just came back to my HQ for the first time. So the game is a long way to go. I'm fully expecting it to be like 50 hours. But we'll see. How would someone retarget the mirrors?
There's these 2 terminals outside. They control the mirrors. I tried fooling with them, but didn't get very far. You'd have to get them to talk to the mainframe up in the tower, then do the rest from up there. I'm guessing, but it sounds good, right? Hey, you're not thinking about going up there, are you?
I am now.
Well, hey, if you find yourself up at the mainframe, do yourself a favor and make sure you send the power to the right place. It needs to go to the Strip and McCarran.
Why should the power go to the Strip and McCarran?
Because I get paid, that's why. Per kilowatt hour. Whatever the hell that is. That's where the NCR wants the power, so that's where I want it. But you know, you do that, maybe I put in a good word for you with them. Fantastic's little helper. There's a reputation you can hang your hat on.
You know what? I did come here to get reputation with the NCR. So maybe we're going to do that. Who knows? We haven't been to McCarran, but the Strip here... It's interesting that it's the Strip and McCarran. Yeah, that is interesting. I probably will do that, because it also suits my needs. What exactly do you do? Oh, by the way, he's obviously being portrayed as an idiot, which is also a commentary on the NCR, and not just a commentary on a random character, because, of course, they sent him here. What do you do exactly?
Fuck, man. Everything.
Get the
I push
barter
buttons,
perk.
I turn dials. I read numbers. Sometimes I make little
That's a lot of
stories
money.
in my head about what the numbers mean. Like one time I imagined they were a code to get into a vault full of naked women. Man, how cool would that be?
I believe that's... Well, I wouldn't know about them being naked, but there's... I'm not sure if it's canonical, actually. There was supposed to be in Fallout 3, the original Fallout 3, not the one that ended up existing. There was supposed to be a Vault 69. And there was also a Vault 68, which is basically the same thing, except with the genders flipped. Vault 69 was supposed to be 1 man and 1,000 women, or something like that. And the Vault 68 was supposed to be 1 woman and 1,000 men. And I'm not sure if they are actually built into any game, but they were just goofy ideas. Fallout 3, of course, never made it into even production, I think. So it was just like in the... it's all in the design documents and stuff. So you have no idea what you're doing.
No, man. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just don't
Always
know
save before you
what
enter the location.
effect it's going to have.
I save all the time.
Over there controls power in this building. That station has readouts on the computer network. That big knob there makes a crazy noise. Sparks come out of that slot if you put stuff in it. And I'm learning more every day.
How did you get this job?
It was easy, man. They were going door to door asking if anyone knew any scientists. I said look no further. They asked me if I knew anything about power plants. I said as much as anyone I had ever met. They asked me how well I understood theoretical physics. I said I had a theoretical degree in physics. They said welcome aboard.
Smart move.
Here, you'll want this. It's the password to one of the terminals outside. Found it written on one of the stalls in the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna need many passwords. We'll see. We'll see. So, that's our mission. And of course we have to go everywhere. I wonder where he's putting things for sparks to come out.
Hello.
Hello.
It's unusual to see a new face here. Are you a soldier or a scientist?
More of a drifter.
I see.
There was a demo available, Project Van Buren. I know.
For them to have let you through.
I have it in my computer, I think. I played it on release. Deadshot123. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the follow. How's it going? Yeah, they're looking for help getting this plant running.
Interesting. Forgive me for prying, but I'm curious. Are you with a particular group?
I mean, this is your turf. For all I know, you could have me killed for my allegiance. Allegiance? That's the one. Allegiance. Who are you with?
Very well, yes. I'm part of the Followers of the Apocalypse. If you're not familiar, we seek peace and the spread of knowledge.
I'm not familiar. I know who they are,
Knowledge that must never
but
be
my
lost
character
to the
doesn't.
world. Now your turn.
The Followers of the Apocalypse, huh? Not to be confused with the Bright Followers. I'm not really sure who they are. I don't remember. But the Followers of the Apocalypse, I know who they are. I know where they are as well. And I kind of might want to go there sooner rather than later. We'll see. I want what you want. Yes. Yeah, I want what you want.
That's reassuring. Although many who've made that claim to the Followers of the Apocalypse over the years have had less than pure intentions.
Robobotany, welcome to the stream.
Then take my advice.
My favorite bit of...
This
Yeah, that's a pretty
isolation
cool
carries with it
line.
dangers that no one here has realized. Take care what you do.
Bright Followers are
Who you
this
listen
world's
to.
NS...
Some things are best
Not
left
NSA,
buried with
NASA.
the old world.
What more is there to this place than a power plant?
I don't entirely know.
Yeah, I remember now who they are then.
Suggests
They
that
are
they're
pretty
dealing
close to
with
here,
not
I
only in
think.
energy, but also in weapons. And I've seen equipment here marked with symbols used by the pre-war military, targeting computers, shock sensors. A code word comes up repeatedly in the papers I've looked through here. Archimedes.
You think Archimedes is a weapon they built here?
Yes. And the technology...
I
they
know
have
what it is.
is like nothing I've seen.
I know what
Some of it
Archimedes
reminds me of
is.
Enclave equipment, but more
Enclave.
advanced.
Enclave?
A weapon based upon it would be catastrophic, no matter who claimed it. It's no wonder the Brotherhood wouldn't give it up.
The Brotherhood of Steel knew about Archimedes.
They weren't here for me to ask, but I doubt they were here for electricity. When the NCR first came here, it was under Brotherhood control.
I
They
definitely
usually
don't
steer
want
clear
to
of
help
one
the
another,
Brotherhood here
but
then.
something here changed their minds. The Brotherhood's interest in pre-war technology has always been in weapons.
I really want
It's likely they were
I
trying to
really
reclaim
wanted to
Archimedes when the NCR
get their
arrived.
side of this quest. And the NCR doesn't know about the weapon?
Not yet. By some miracle,
You can
they've
do the
hired
quest
Intel to
with
try
the
and
super
disable the
mutants
systems
beneath the NASA building
He spent months
peacefully.
working at one console trying to get the solar...
Oh, I know.
track
It's the
something.
the most fun
What
way
he
of
doesn't
doing that.
know is that the only thing the console controls is the plant's intercom system. I tried to tell him, but he insisted that the largest console had to be the most important. Still, it's only a matter of time.
He doesn't know a lot of stuff, dude. He doesn't know a lot of stuff. The NCR asked me to help increase the powers, or the plant's power output.
Then I would say do it. As long as the power of this plant is committed to the regional grid and not to a weapon, we are safe. If you're the one to restore output, then you can route the power where you choose, and they'll never be the wiser. I can't get you past the security in the tower, but I can be of some help. I've discovered a password for one of the mirror control terminals outside. You'll need it.
I think I have 2 passwords now. Eastern Reflector. Yeah, I need to look at those. Why would you trust me with this?
I'm a man of letters. I'd be torn to pieces by the security system they have in that tower. I'd never reach the mainframe. But eventually, the NCR will. Or if not them, Caesar's Legion. They will use this place for war. Because the possibility exists you might do anything else, you're the only choice I have.
It's kind of interesting that the game... This is the only Fallout game that I know of that treats... This is including the original 2 Fallout games, by the way. That treats weapons of mass destruction with this sort of care. Not, so, I mean, certainly from a narrative perspective, but also from even having a single character who talks about it. Because in Fallout 1, there's a nuclear bomb. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but there is one, and nobody mentions it. It's just there, and you can do with it as you are able to. But yeah, there's no commentary about it. In Fallout 2, there are also nuclear reactors. It's not so much a nuclear weapon, but it works as a nuclear weapon. But you know, they're means to an end. But in Fallout 3, Bethesda. Oh my God, Bethesda. Anyway, let's forget Fallout 3. But what this game is doing right now is putting you in a situation where you have control over even the existence, or we're going to be in that situation, but the existence of a weapon of mass destruction, and we can make sure that it doesn't come to happen. And this guy is actually putting it in very simple terms. You don't know who is going to have power over it. Maybe not today, or maybe not tomorrow, but in a few years, the Legion can take control over it, and it's very true. It's very true. And of course, you can kill the Legion, but are the Brotherhood any better? The Brotherhood are an interesting. I look forward to messing with them. They're a very interesting faction, very tight, which just does justice to the original game's Brotherhood. Very very tight knit community. Where should I route the power?
Oh, the NCR has their own.
In Fallout 2, you have a nuclear car.
But resist the urge
That
to send
doesn't
it down
count.
into the
It's not a
throng.
nuclear car. It's an electric
The need
car.
for power is great everywhere. Distributing it evenly is the most rational and humane choice.
Yeah. That's true.
Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll find out. Well, we'll both find out what I will do, won't we? Distributing it evenly. Anyway, we need to go so many places, really. The Mojave Wasteland. And I can't waste too much time, because we only have like 3 days. And, yeah, let me make sure I've been everywhere around here. Don't see how you can power a car that's small with nuclear. Because you have the microfusion cells. And the... What are they called? There's the microfusion cells, which you use to power, you know, laser rifles and stuff like that. No, actually, I think the microfusion cells is for laser pistols only. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. But the important bit to remember at all times is that the car is electric, not nuclear. Doesn't have a nuclear reactor in it. Look at all of the loot. That doesn't really matter. I mean, it needs to be here because obviously people are here. Doesn't one of the rockets always explode? I think so.
Patrolling the Mojave almost
But nobody mentions
makes
it.
you wish for a nuclear winter.
Nobody mentions that the rocket explodes. It's like, eh. So we're back to the beginning. And this is to the outside. We don't need to go through there. It's just a different way of getting anywhere. And then there's the upstairs. Fresh apple. Really? Take that. I don't like that the apples are all nice and pretty. They should be ugly. Like Fallout's apples. What do we have over here? More of the same as downstairs. So, no need to include this in the Let's Play. Aha! Eastern Reflector Control Terminal password. So, how many passwords do we need? Oh. So we still want the Deathclaw egg. Yeah, that's going to take a little while. But I don't know who gave us all the passwords. I think some of them were repeated passwords. And we also have that multiple times. It was both over there and on the table. Is that a helmet? No, that's a basketball. Okay. Okay, so everything has been explored. Man, I'd be pissed being stationed at some power plant in the desert and then some freelancer they hire comes in, steals last carton of cigarettes. Oh boy. Yeah, that is, I would, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't because I don't smoke, but like, I can see where that would be a problem. So we're supposed to go to the Mojave Wasteland over there. I'm also running dehydrated, so I'll go ahead and get some H2O here. Sunset Sarsaparilla. Gets my health back as well. Hopefully we'll get some of the blue things. And that means we're going out this way. And getting experience. And there's not even enemies out here. Which is not that much of a surprise. No, there are enemies. They're just not... Thought I heard somebody shooting. They're just not in here. Because this place is all barricaded. If you come in from the outside. There's no wire cutters in Fallout. I mean, in Fallout New Vegas. Don't question my sarsaparilla drinking habits. We got some mongrels. Mongrels are friendly? No, they're not. Excuse me. Oh, no, that's not a mongrel. I mean, I thought...
Keep walking.
No, because there's some enemies over there. Okay, so very unfriendly people. Oh, these guys are stationed out here. That's pretty important to remember. That there's some people out here. For later. For when we activate that thing that says that nobody can be out here. Remember how we read about that? And we probably will be able to activate that. And, no, we won't do it, though. But we got a computer. Let's see what I can do. Disarm the bear trap. All the bear traps. You're gonna go through there, aren't you? Get out. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. Oh, there was a shotgun. Dang it! Broke all my things. It's fine. I clicked on it. It's fine. It's fine. I have the password. I'm entering automatically. Reset mainframe connection. Technicians will be running an Archimedes, or test of Archimedes and its connectivity with the plant security system. Under no circumstances should any employee... So that's basically the same as before. So let's reset the mainframe connection. And that's half the job done. And of course, I have a broken leg now, so, you know, I'm a little bit on the limping side of things, but, you know, we don't worry too much about that. Because we have Dr. Mitchell. Oh, also have a concussion. I forgot to mention that. It's fine. It's fine. I can see. I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely don't. I'm not irritable. Losing. I don't actually know what concussions do. I'm fortunate enough to never have had one. Ooh. Oh, that's rubbish. Eddie. Oh, it's Delilah.
Sure.
You have some apparel for me. Because I can open this. I'm at caution, but I think it's going to be fine. Oh, they're fighting. It's fine. Let's see. Oh, no. We didn't break it. What do we get? Flamer fuel and just some rubbish. And, of course, we have Eddie. Speaking of rubbish. Doing things. I don't know what he's doing. Oh. Oh, I know what he's doing.
Sure.
Let me give you my things. There's dogs in there. That's the dogs that I remember. If y'all don't mind doing that, I got a little bit of a headache right now. I mean, Lady is the bravest of them all. But I have a power fist. I don't know why she was laughing. These are Ncr Guard Dogs. And we just come in here and kill them. No minds, though, so that's an improvement. And we reset. Okay. Now we need to use Helios 1 mainframe to send power to a destination. I need to get up there. Limping all the way. There's some toolboxes over here. Let's go. Ugh. Go to sleep and never wake up again. Bear trap attached to leg. Hey guys, fix your solar shit. Yep. Did I come out this way? No. This is the solar... This is the tower. It might have enemies. Oh yeah, it does have enemies. I am thinking I might want to...
When I was a kid, Dad told me the legend of Dead... Okay, that's mode on.
Wait. Oh no. Oh no. Eddie. Eddie's gonna die. There's a freaking turret up there. There's turrets all over. Where's the computer? There's no computer to control the turrets?
I am one of the most advanced military robots available.
Yes, you are, but... Oh my god, companions. Oh, companions. Delilah.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, seriously, don't go. Don't go. I can do this. Everything is broken. I think this might be the way. Why is it not open? This is Mines Day today. There's a computer over here. Okay. What do we have? Prayer. Prayer. Pray. That could be it. Yes, it is. Good. It's proper. And now what do? Reconfigure targeting parameters. Deactivate the turrets. But it didn't deactivate the robots, though. Delilah, you are the worst person. Do you know what the worst person is? It is you. Told her specifically not to be here. And what does she do? Immediately be here. Fortunately, she's immortal, so yay for that. I can see what that robot is. A robo-brain. Robo-brains. They're the best robots. So there's some mines over here being...
used to say that we all had two wolves battling inside us. A good
They
wolf
definitely...
and an evil wolf.
Whoa!
The one that wins
They
is the
definitely... They're not inside us at all. I don't know what she's talking about. Okay. She really wants to tell that story, though. Feck. Cause you're Mr. So, cause you go with Mr. House. Shotgunned off the ear. I don't know what you're talking about, Harry. About going with Mr. House. Okay, we got some energy cells. This whole business of having our head broken is
Okay, here you go.
a sham. It is a bad thing. Let's fix it. No more headaches. It's literally the worst part of that particular effect. Is the obnoxious sounds. Which I think is realistic enough, because that's how it would be in real life. If you had a concussion. It's the pain. Apart from everything else, I assume. This keeps going. Sunset Sarsaparilla. No papers. We have a programmer's digest. We're probably going to need that. If we're going to need to hack into things and whatnot. In Fallout 3, this tile set, this thing is used for the metro tunnels. There's a robot over there. Of course.
I'm a much better tactician than you. It's all in the brain, you see.
Is it in the brain? Yeah, the physics are beautiful. So in Fallout 3, a lot of these areas in particular have some very hard to see traps that let fall 3 little grenades. And the grenades do a tremendous amount of damage, especially when they fall on a little nook. Because it's 3 grenades thrown at you. They feel like they were never tested, honestly. They're so dangerous. They're so dangerous. You really need to pick the don't set off mines perk. Nah, never. I like the difficulty. Okay, let's get one of the scrap metal out of here, because I don't need that. If you send to New Vegas, you will not gain reputation with House, and still think you should do it even though it may be bad for NCR reputation. Why would I do that, though? Why would I send it to Vegas? But I am going to send it to Vegas. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Young. When you reach the final point of this quest, you have 3 options of what to do with the energy from Helios 1, because you're doing a Mr. House playthrough. Choose the option to divert it to New Vegas. But no. Otherwise, I will have to kill all the... What happens if I don't do that, though? Thank you for the follow, by the way, Rakdos, and welcome to the stream. I had low iron and blood pressure for a while. Get head rushes like that each time I'd stand up. Hell annoying. Yep. I can see that being the case. So what happens if I don't send it to New Vegas? Because this, like, it doesn't just, like... I have no justification to sending it to Vegas right now. Also, the NCR wants to send it to the Strip and to the other place, so it's like...
How do you like that, you mother-loving commie?
Haha! You hear that? Delilah is a comrade. Oh no. It's one of the other ones that I don't like. Mr. Fix-It. Except that one has a different name. Lady's unconscious. I think Eddie might die, actually. Thank you for the help. Let me past. No, lady murdered the Mr. Handy. What are they called? Mr. Gutsy. I believe that name was given by Bethesda. Very imaginative, as we well know. Man, this place is all broken. Ooh, fixing things. I am a big fan of that. Read every article forever. What is this? Nothing. Go to Camp McCarran, do NCR quests. I can't go to Camp Can I go to Camp McCarran? I had to lie to get in here. The NCR doesn't want anything to do with me. I'm shunned. If I go to Camp McCarran, they might as well just shoot me. Ooh. Let me fix this over here, because the things... There we go. You can. Oh, man. But I don't have enough time. They've given me an ultimatum. Oh, I can't get that. If the Archimedes 1 plant defense system is activated... Nah, I'm not going to do that. All NCR troopers stationed at the Helios plant will be killed. I don't know what that means, though. Why would I want to activate it in the first place? Nobody has asked me to do that. Are we going? Yes, we're going the right direction here. I don't want to go down there. How much of New Vegas have you played? I have finished the game. I've played all the DLCs. This is a playthrough that I'm giving it my best to make interesting. Basically, I'm trying to see as much of the Legion as I can, because the first time I played it, every time I played it, I always killed the Legion on sight, and then I didn't get to hear much of their dialogues. And this time around, I'm actually a little bit more aware of what they're supposed to be. And I'm understanding the subtext a little bit better, which is pretty good. Because, ooh, I'm gonna be able to heal from drinking from the sink. If you activate it, you get the solar thingy gun. Yeah, but I don't want that. I don't need. I'm doing a. That's the other thing that I'm making this interesting with, is I'm doing a punchy playthrough. I'm very good with names. I definitely know what the skill is for punchy. Colonel was forced to play New Vegas by me and Harry. That is not a lie. Still healing. I'm still healing. Don't. It's complicated. Harry says truth. Okay, I should be able to I should say to play New Vegas again, because I had played it before. Let's see. Human flesh. Nah, I don't want to eat that. I want to eat the sugar bombs. And, fresh apple? Sounds like a plan. Iguana bits. Good. I don't know if these things give me thirst. Okay. Iguana bits isn't worn off. Still have a broken leg, though. But we're gonna make do. We're gonna be fine. I think. Can I go back there? Potentially. I don't think I want to, though. Honestly, I have probably replayed this game 4 to 5 times. That sounds like a healthy enough amount of times. Delilah. Cheats to fix the game. There's no enemies here. Ooh, Poseidon Energy Employee ID card. That's oh. The plastic skeletons were the employees. I mean, I imagine. Delilah, get out of my face. And this is locked. I will not be able to open that. That doesn't mean I won't be able to open that. Rather, that's what I said. I will not be able to pick that lock, but I might be able to open that. Ooh. Protectron. And a super tiny one of those machines that are usually a lot bigger. And I don't know why that one is so tiny. Let's see if we can find an alternate way into that particular door. Pickpocket NCR dog tags and bring them to Camp Forlorn. I don't know if you can pickpocket for the dog tags, but if you have a lot of them, you can gain reputation. You should already have some NCR dog tags already. Yes, I do have some. I just don't know where to, like, I don't know where to go. My character doesn't know where to go. I still want to know what happens if I don't divert the power.
Some of the older fiends would make great research.
I still want to know what happens if you divert the power not to the strip, basically. Do I get locked out of that quest? Because I really don't want that. I think we have it already. Tagging the map. You said specifically Camp Forlorn. Yeah, I've never heard of that even in the game. I believe it's over there somewhere. It's not difficult to get to. It's just my character doesn't know. Oh! Huh? Nope. Okay.
Your cooperation is requested.
Here's my cooperation.
Please leave the Scanning for hostiles.
Just don't kill Eddie. And we're gonna be fine. I definitely did not jump in my chair. Eddie, please don't die. There's still another one? Oh, hi. Uppercut. Definitely did not jump. Absolutely not. I was not expecting that. Did I mess up? I think I might have messed up. Do these guys have brains, by the way? No, I don't think so. Okay. I think we're getting to important bits of the area. The refrigerator. No, it just got dirty water in it. Somebody's here though, or has been here. There's a blackboard, I believe is what it's called. And oh, this might be the other door. Oh, that probably is what that is. It's supposed yes, I think it is. It's a bypassing area. You don't have to, if you open that door, you don't have to fight the robots. Unfortunately, if you open that door, then you like want to explore everything because that's how you do. I think we might be in combat just now. No, we're not. Then you want to explore everything, and then you have to kill the robots anyway. Hey, Super Phallus, welcome to the stream. That is quite a name. How's it going? I like the Pip-Boy redesign. Makes more sense for a courier to have a little radio tablet thing. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool one. Told you, Colonel RPG, to get the Explorer perk so you can reach all locations in the game. I think, yeah. It's based on the one from Fallout 1 and 2. Yep, I believe so. I'm not... I think... I don't know about, like... I'm not the person to answer if the one from Fallout 2 is worn around the wrist. I believe it is not, but maybe there's like one piece of document or somebody from the team somewhere that says it is supposed to be worn around the wrist. I thought it was not, but I do remember people correcting me in the comments on one of my Fallout 1 or 2 playthroughs. And somebody was like, no, it's actually worn around around the wrist. I think. Look at the detail. That's really cool. I mean, it wouldn't work. If you put a cable like this, I hope it never happened to you, but if you have a lot of current going through cables like that, they generate an electromagnetic field, and they get warm, and they might actually burn. And if they burn, they might create a short circuit, because of course the insulation of the cables will burn, and the cables will touch each other, and it's just a big mess. Also, it creates its own... the electromagnetic field itself creates a problem, but I'm not an electrician, so I don't know exactly what it means, but it means things. Oh, water in this place is so lovely. But it means things. But that little smoke right there is a nice little detail. Anyway, we have obviously a computer... Eddie, don't look at me. An important looking computer over here. This mainframe is currently unresponsive. The amount of power reaching the terminal seems to be insufficient. So let me get this straight. If I make the power work, then I can turn it on? Let's hope that I can put a lot of my crap in here, because I have a lot of crap with me. Brass knuckles, I use it. Power fist, no, I don't use brass knuckles. How is it all the car? My God, I'm so weighed down. How do I make that? Oh, it's the ammo. Right, the flamer fuel alone. No, well, it is the ammo, but it's not just that. It's also the heavy armor that I'm wearing. It's like a vacuum tube computer you carry in your backpack. Yeah, I thought it was. I really thought it was. Concept art Young has. And Harry posts immediately the same concept art. Yeah. That's what I say, man. It's what I say. That is, like, it's supposed to be worn around the wrist. I remember I talked, sorry, it's not supposed to be worn around the wrist. I remember, because I talked about it, specifically as a ramble, because, you know, I ramble a lot. But as a ramble when I was playing Fallout Nevada, man, that game was badly written. But when I was playing Fallout Nevada, there was this mention of somebody looking at their wrist for the... I'm not even sure if my wrist shows up on camera. It did not. But what I mean is somebody looking at their wrist for their Pip-Boy, and I'm like, aha! That's false! You are a fan of Fallout 3! You're not a fan of Fallout! You know, because I hold a grudge against people who are fans of Fallout 3, not fans of Fallout. I don't know. I'm a mean and tiny person. Volpes, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Welcome. Colonel and Peeps. Yes. Rambling is my middle name. Chaotic Ramble is my alignment, is what that is. That is, I don't remember who it was, though, who said that, but that is just beautiful. Peak It's peak. Peak. It's just peak. It's just beautiful. But yeah. It's supposed to be carried in a backpack. Is this a war room? Maybe in relation to the weapon that this Python? This robot has been fitted with a variety of tools specialized for industrial maintenance. There is a slot at the back of the head where it looks like a keycard could fit. I have the keycard. I could also hack it, but let's not hack it right now. And this goes to the Mojave Wasteland. I believe we do need to go in there. Some pre-war books, but as we know, books, what are those? We don't read them. Dinner plate with pignons over it. How do you say pignons? I'm not even sure. I say pignon. Let's go pignon. It's the Portuguese version. I think this is the thing that's gonna... It's a Mr. Fix-It. Not that we're introduced to it as being a Mr. Fix-It. I don't remember what that one is, though. Let's insert the thing. This game just scares the crap out of me these days. It's that sound. Ruler of the tides of innovation. It's Poseidon. Okay, let's follow the little machine. A little bit reminiscent of repairing. Oh! It's more than a detail. It's the fundamental aspect of this whole thing. This robot has been fitted with a variety of... Yes. There's nothing left in the room to repair. Yes. And now we have a computer. Let's see. Badly translate. Maybe not badly written. No, badly written. There's so many problems. It's also badly translated, yes, but absolutely badly written. Oof. And quest design. The quest design in particular, I remember it being... Yeah. Gentlemen, please stop. You can't fight in here. This is a war... what is that a reference to? I know that is a reference. I think I said that, that or I was here when I said that. Yeah, I think it was you, Jung, but I always say it was you when, like, I don't remember who it was. Dr. Strangelove. Nice. I have never watched Dr. Strangelove. I'm not even sure what it is. It's not Doctor Strange, that I have also not watched. It's a movie, probably. Never heard of Pignons, not Pignon Nuts IRL. Pignons or Pignons or whatever. They come from the pine cones. So you know the pine cones. Well, if you don't have pines where you live, and even if you do have pines, a lot of pine trees. I say pines, but it's pine trees. A lot of the pine trees don't produce like edible pine cones or. Anyway, the pine cones themselves, they have little seeds in them, and some of them are a lot bigger than others, and the big ones are definitely what those are. I'm pretty sure. It's a great movie, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Ah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I don't know why I never watched it. It's by Kubrick. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is one of those movies that I like. Have on my short list, but I haven't watched movies in a while. And yeah, me and movies, we're sort of on a timeout sort of situation. It's native to Nevada and surrounding places like Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona. Oh, the pignons. No, really? It's not the pine tree thing that I was talking about then. And also, I'm not pronouncing it properly. Doctor Strange, yeah. One of the greatest satire movies ever made. Yeah, but the pine trees, they have a similar thing, a similar looking thing as well. The name is definitely similar in Portuguese. So I assume we can configure the power right now, but let's look initial trials over here. Pending the successful launch of Archimedes 2, we ought to be able to begin field trials with a handheld rangefinder within a few weeks. Hiccup. Our small-scale tests have already proven the viability of sending power as microwave radiation from the plant to a remote receiver and converting it back into a usable form. All that remains is to extrapolate it to full scale and then prove out the long-range communication targeting system on the rangefinder. On Tuesday, February 12th, or 16th rather, at 2 p.m., technicians will be running a test. But that's the same text that we saw before. Let's configure the power grid. And we can send to the full region if we want to. We can also do Archimedes too, which is obviously the weapon. Let's not mess with it right now, because I'm pretty sure it's not working. I'm pretty sure I need to go outside to do some things through the war room over there. I really like how the level design really lends itself to describing what this is. It isn't just a dungeon where you read some texts. Like, it all makes sense. Let's see where this goes. There are a ton of those trees in the park near me. No idea you can eat the nuts. They are pine trees. Okay, there we go. So, I was more or less correct. Hi, Delilah. I hope you're not afraid of heights. Because, boy, oh boy. Oh no, I'm getting stuck on my companions. As per usual. Yeah, we can see all the little machines down there. We can also get into a considerable amount of trouble if we are fighting people over here. Oh, there it is. This machine. It isn't even... I don't think it is even our objective. Arm Archimedes security system to wipe out all nearby NCR soldiers. I would rather not. The console is unresponsive. For it to operate properly, it would need to be activated during peak sunlight hours. A power configuration would need to be set up in the tower's mainframe, and the 2 ground level terminals would need to be active, or to have an active uplink to the mainframe. Now, in regards to the hours, we actually have enough, or it is the right amount of sunlight, but I don't know what that does. I wonder if that's part of the weapon. It might be part of the weapon. Let's go back inside and activate that. Are you sure it's the same pine tree? Pine nuts are really good, but so expensive. They are indeed very expensive. They're good if you just mix them up with bread. It's like sesame seeds and stuff like that. But they're very expensive. That does look like a pine tree. More or less. You know how they are. It's a conifer, but that doesn't look very conifer-y to me. I'm going around like this because I don't want my mouse to go to the other screen. It's to the right. I want it to the left. Okay. So here it goes. We can do it to McCarran and Las Vegas Strip. We can send to Fremont and West Side. We don't know where that is. We can send to the full region. Well, let's do that. Use the Helios 1 mainframe to send power to a destination of your choosing. Initiate reflection retargeting from the console. That's how that works. And I can arm the plant defense system, which is a bad thing. And I can still change that option if I want to, but I think once I arm the thing, it's irreversible. I checked my local supermarket sites. 50 grams, 2.5 euro. Yeah, sounds about right. You don't eat it by the pound. It's not that kind of eating. You eat it like... 50 grams is gonna be... You know... That's the thing. You can mix it up with other things. Like, it goes really well with the... what's the name of those dried grapes that I don't remember the name of? Is this my first playthrough? 0THZR. Welcome to the stream. It is not my first playthrough. I finished this game only once, but I played it a little bit many years ago. And then I played it on camera here on stream once and finished it. But I killed a lot of people that I probably shouldn't have killed. And as such, I'm doing a Let's Play now out of this footage. The Let's Play is on my YouTube channel. I'm editing the footage into a Let's Play that's more edible than just a Twitch VOD and all this sort of stuff. What do the taste they have? Asks Harry. It's a bit of a it tastes. It's very mellow. It's a very bland taste. They taste like seeds, really. They're kind of sweet, but not really, not overly sweet. And they don't have I say they don't have like a skin around them, like for example Sesame Streets have. Sesame Streets are a little bit crunchy. They're also very tiny, but they're a little bit crunchy because they have that skin around them. The skin of the piñons, you need to take it out before. When you dry the piñons, you need to take the skin out, and it's actually there's techniques to remove it with relative ease, and that's one of the reasons why it's so expensive. It's a pain to clean up. Okay. The console is unresponsive. Dang it! How dare you? 3 p.m. The NCR is gonna want to kill me. Okay. I hope they don't want to kill me. Great for pesto. I don't know what pesto is. Pretty sure it's another pine tree. Because they only grow in the south of North America. So, 4. Okay, my sleep deprivation level, it's fine. We don't worry about that. I think we did it. Talk to Fantastic. I will. They really get their mileage out of this particular effect, don't they? Oh, my joke was funny. Lovely. Anyway, let's go talk to Fantastic. Bye-bye, Redness, yeah. What's my favorite Fallout, asks Zero. I must say that it is Fallout 1. However, maybe... Okay, we're good. Maybe it's gonna be Fallout New Vegas by the time I'm done with this playthrough. So far, I have been enjoying it more than I did the first time around because I understand things a little bit better. I also, I have to say, like it's not a testament to the game, but it is true. Editing the footage after I play it makes me enjoy the game a little bit more. Because I get to see things and pay attention to certain details that I don't when I'm playing. And it's weird, but you know, it doesn't change the fact that I enjoy it. So far I'm really enjoying New Vegas. And the thing is, with Fallout 1, I can play Fallout 1 like that. Anytime, any day, wherever, whenever, I can just fire up Fallout 1 and I'll play it. And I'll make a new character, and it's gonna be a heck of fun. It's just gonna be, I'm gonna be looking forward to everything from start to finish. I'm just gonna be like, hell yes. Fallout 2, same thing. No problem whatsoever. But this game is first person. And that just, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's just not the same. You know? Pesto alla Genovese. Now they're making noise. And there's sun rays as well. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. It's kind of weird. I think those things are reflecting the sun onto there, and that is collecting the sunlight. Instead of these being solar panels themselves collecting the sunlight potentially from there or something. So I don't know. It's confusing. But we don't need to think too hard about that. Fantastic is the one that has to think hard. Fallout 2 is my favorite. I'm playing New Vegas for the first time right now, and I'm liking it a lot. But I'm using a lot of mods as well. Yeah, the mods also add a little bit to the experience, I feel. I'm playing with a lot of mods as well. Especially restored content and stuff like that. This is the thermal solar plant, not a photovoltaic solar plant. That explains it.
Hello.
Hello.
What can I help you with?
I did a thing, but I can't tell you about the thing I did.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. He wanted me to distribute it to everybody. Hey. Fantastic.
Yo.
So, I sent power to McCarran in the strip.
Whoa, really? Oh, shit. Oh, I knew I could do it. Those NCR pricks can all get on their knees and worship at the altar of fucking fantastic. But don't worry, I'll tell them what you did for me, man.
You do that?
Not all of it, though.
No.
They think I was an idiot. But some of it. Keep at it, man. One day you could end up where I am. You never know.
Ah, boy.
Adios, amigo.
Oh, finally. I'm liked. Well, I'm not liked by the NCR, but I'm a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. I can sleep. For 24 hours, I'm gonna starve to death. But that's how you feel. You know what? That's one of those things. It's just how you do. It's like, I'm so tired. Dunk. I can I haven't been able to... Oh, my H2O. Oh, actually, H2O. Oh, but they have nice water around here, so I don't need to worry about H2O. Let me look at my sleep deprivation. It's all good. I don't think I could sleep for 24 hours. If I had the time to sleep for 24 hours. I can easily sleep for 12 hours now that I'm not dealing with insomnia anymore. 12 hours, I'll go for 12 hours, no problem whatsoever. More than that?
This chain link fence perimeter is worthless. We might as well be defending a cage from the inside.
I was looking at the chain link fence and thinking that as well. Ooh, water. Nice. I can't open that link, Harry. It's weird. It's a weird link. Twitch doesn't like it. And I don't think it's just Twitch. I think it's just something wrong with it or something. So, let's eat. Oh yeah, I have the Ruby's casserole. Still need another one. Words. Never managed to sleep more than 10 hours even after 28 hours sleep deprivation. Oh, I've managed to sleep for 18 hours. I've slept for more, but 18 hours is probably the most recent one that I slept for a while. I remember when I was a kid, it was this time, I slept for 3 days straight. I had, I don't know what I had. I was
What
sick.
is it? I'm a busy woman.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna go away without telling you.
What is it?
The thing I did, okay.
Try not to make any trouble.
I fixed your thing. Fixed your thing. And now I'm gonna be able to go to Novak. Without getting attacked by death claws. And finally, we're gonna be able to check up on that mister over there. I don't remember his name. Hey, Victor, what's up? Victor is just dutifully waiting. And we can continue with our journey. Well, I assume we can continue with our journey. If we're really unlucky, Boone is gonna be upset. Is that his name, Boone? I think it is that his name. It is.
God damn it. Don't sneak up on me like that. What do you want?
Victory. Oh, expecting visitors?
Yeah, I guess maybe I am. But not like you. Huh. Maybe it should have been you I was expecting all along.
Usually sleeping for 4 hours is enough. I wish. New Mexico Pinon Coffee. That's an interesting thing. I don't think that is Pinons, though. Or whatever it's called. Well, if you're looking for someone in particular, I could tip you off if I see them.
Yeah, well, you see anybody wearing Legion Crimson or a lot of sports equipment, you just let me know. You still haven't answered my question.
Oh, no, yeah. Legion Crimson and a lot of sports equipment. Yeah, I'm just looking around.
There's nothing up here.
Well, there's a sniper.
I think you better leave.
I'm just making friendly conversation.
I don't have friends here.
Well, I'm not from here.
No. No, you're not, are you?
Facing the door, don't sneak up
Maybe
on
you
me.
shouldn't go.
That's a good
Not just
point.
yet.
Why is that?
I need
That's a
someone I
really
can
good point.
trust. You're a stranger. That's a start.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to find something out for me. I don't know if there's anything to find, but I need someone to try. My wife was taken from our home by Legion slavers one night while I was on watch.
I know exactly where to look.
Come, and what route to take.
But this
and
makes
they
a lot
only
more sense
took
than what I was doing before.
Someone set it up. I don't know who.
You're trying to track your wife down?
My wife's dead. I want the son of a bitch who sold her.
His wife is dead. How do you know she's dead?
I know, all right.
He killed her.
That's all you need to know.
I know that. And you only trust strangers?
I said it was a start. This town, nobody looks me straight in the eye anymore.
What do I do if I find this person?
Bring him out in front of the nest here while I'm on duty. I work nights. I'll give you my Ncr beret to put on.
We all know that.
It'll be our signal, so
Yeah.
I know you're standing with him.
It's his story. Like, it's his storyline. It's understanding that.
I need to do this myself.
I'll see what I can do to help you out.
Good. I'll make it worth your while. And one more thing. We shouldn't speak again. Not until it's over. No one in town knows that I know what happened to my wife. Best they never know. Or the Legion will be after me next. Yeah.
So, you're just hanging out. This is really crowded. You're just hanging out over here. Now you don't have a beret. I wish I had a beret. Let's look at this beret. Let's see what it is. So, oh man, that's a really... I can't wear it though. No, I can. Is it broken or something? No. Why is it... Why is it like that? I'm also... I can't see very well. This game confuses me tremendously a lot of the time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not wearing this beret. I'm wearing a metal helmet. And... Mr. New Vegas?
This is Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host, Mr. New Vegas. And in case you're wondering if you've come to the right...
I want to see if he has the news.
Well, you know what that means, folks. Time for some news.
News, okay. We got the news.
Influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. One more story for you. NCR has failed to retake the prison it recently lost in a deadly riot.
Ooh, there's news about the prison.
Against the NCR are expected to continue. Mojave, mo problems. Am I right? More tracks coming your way right now.
Now we have the news. Or not the news, the music. You can listen to him on the radio on your Pip-Boy if you want to. Which I don't. But now we have to figure out what happened to his wife. Put it on Boone so he shoots himself. It would be kind of funny if the game actually did that, but it would have to be in like an Easter egg sort of way. Can I ask a question? How do you manage to play several RPGs at the same time? Usually I can only play one per time. And Jung says, 'cause he's crazy. Yes. But the trick is having played a few of them already. There's actually, I always say this, but yeah, the trick is having played a few of them already. Like, if it is anything like strategy-based or something, those are easy to follow. Like, you know, Battle Brothers doesn't really count, because it's not a game that I need to remember a lot of stuff. Like character names and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Games like Fallout New Vegas, I've played already. I know what's going on. I mean, I'm not going to get lost in the storyline and all this sort of stuff. Mass Effect, same thing. I don't remember all the things, but I've played it once, so I'll be okay. So the trick is to keep the new RPGs down to as low as I can. But there's, specifically on the new RPGs, there's something that happens for me, is that when I start an episode, if I don't remember exactly where I was in the last episode, I will actively go and watch a little bit of the last episode that I recorded, so I know where I'm at and stuff like that. Something I've been doing a little bit more recently as well is when I know that I'm like getting into a place where I don't remember exactly what's going on, or there's something that I'm missing in a dialogue or stuff, and actively fade to black and just like make a cut when I can and go and look it up mid-episode and just like to make sure I know where I'm at. And so, you know, I come across as I remember everything. I don't come across as that, but I come across more as I remember everything than I would otherwise, because I, you know, refresh my memory every time I start a new episode, and that's the trick. You forgot to check the new link I posted. No, I didn't. I did. It's the coffee thing. You shouldn't listen to radios on the Pip-Boy. For some reason, sometimes it crashes the game when entering a new cell. Yes, that is one reason to do it. But my reason is that I hate it. Also, there's people talking under me. Cliff Briscoe's bungalow. Is Cliff around? There's a lot of T-Rexes. Oh, Cliff is around. Hey, Cliff. People don't like...
There are rad scorpions that can get as big as a trailer. Ew. That gives me the creeps just thinking of it.
People don't really like to have covers in their bed, do they? Their water here sucks. Should I bother him in the middle of the night? Let's go ahead and do that.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Hey there. If you want to buy something from a shop, you'll have to wait till it opens.
Yay, new Twitch copyright rules. What happened? What is the new Twitch copyright rules? What happened? Oh, is the songs and stuff? It's been a while since they did that. Better to sleep on a piss-stained mattress. Yeah, that's another reason for them to have some covers there. It's like, my God, the mattress is 2,000 years old by now. So I'm looking for I'm not gonna go into Boom's wife right now. I'm looking for a man in a checkered coat. Have you seen anyone like that?
Sure, but he didn't buy any souvenirs, if that's what you're wondering. Sounded like he didn't have his money with him. His friends seemed disappointed about it. Heck, I would be too if I found such a fine store and left my money elsewhere. Manny might know more about him. Thought he might have been friends with one or two of them. He's up in the dino mouth during the day.
Wait a minute. This guy is actively telling me, thank you very much, by the way, find out from Manny Vargas, not from Boone. Huh. Manny Vargas. Well, Boone said he did the nights, so I assume maybe Vargas does the days. Let's give that a try. He's actively telling me that the man who shot me in the head didn't buy any souvenirs, and his friends, who were cons, I believe, and his friends were disappointed. So, oh, you play Caravan.
A fellow enthusiast, huh? That's great. Let's play.
Let's play. So, raise all the money and let's do this thing. It's pretty old news, but yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, yeah. No, the reason for the radio is that I just don't like talking. So like when I'm talking and I'm hearing voices in the background. If it doesn't matter if it's a song or if it's news, and I'm talking to you. It's really it confuses me a lot. One of the tricks that I do. So I want to add that. Yeah. One of the tricks that I do. Set that over there. This over here. Is have the volume of the game for you actively go down when I talk. But for me, it doesn't go down when I talk. Like, I can always hear it. And that means that it can be confusing to me, but hopefully it isn't confusing to you who are listening. Oh, we can play Caravan still with this. Okay, we're good. Kind of want to Dino Toy People Clap. I don't know. Oh, People Clap? I don't see the icon. But Checker Suit said no. If you get 21, 25 on all decks, you win. Yes, that is very important. That is the trick. Check if you got a Power Fist. That's a good call, actually. Caravan is Dark Souls of card games. Caravan is Dark Souls of card games. That is a way of putting it. So, again, as with always the case is, I'm not going to include a lot of these games in the Let's Play that I'm making out of the stream footage. Oh, I knew you were going to steal some of mine. So the trick is always to be on the lookout for a way to win the hand. So right now we have a 16, we have a 17. Look at that. With our kings, we can change that over there. Oh, we have a 26 on this side. That's a bit of a bummer. Let's make sure you don't have a 26 on this side. Also be on the lookout for hands that we can lose, because, oh boy, we'll lose them. So we have a 17 over there that can go up to... Can I put an 8 right next to an 8? No. Man, we have 8s of the same thing, and anyway, we can't do that. We need to double this, and we can. Oh, I should have doubled the 9, but we won. See you later, Cliff. It's all very sudden when you win. It's all very sudden. Anyway, we're gonna see him in the morning, I think. Ranger Andy's bungalow. I'm not trespassing. I wouldn't mind sleeping over here. Are you sleeping right next to a big book of
stealth
medicine?
mode on.
Shh, 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 shh. I can't take that. Is it my metal armor? I can't take that. Maybe I can talk to him. Ooh, don't do that. Oh, he didn't mind that. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. I stole his thing. Hi. Oh, he just saw it. Okay. Well, I screwed it up, didn't I? I'm gonna have to reload. Because I need that. I need the medicine thing. Okay, well, let's just have a chat with Ranger. Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Hi. He's very friendly.
We haven't met yet. You must be new in town.
Let's see. What, it's over? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, right? The game's end just all of a sudden. And I wish it didn't. I wish, like, I think that would make the game a lot easier for people to understand. If the game actively told you that how you won and showed you, look at this money, or look at these points and these points and all of, like, it's, yeah. It's easy if you know how to cheat the system, says Jung. One thing I hate with the companion mods is that their audio is always crappy. It's crappy because she's got a mouth, or actually with companion mods, you mean? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. But also her audio is particularly crappy because she's got a mouth covering, and I don't like that. I also don't like that this game doesn't lock my mouse inside of the screen, and it's a bit of a pain in the butt. So now I'm gonna have to look up there to see the text, but that's why I have redundancy. Ranger Andy. What can you tell me about... You know what? What do you do here, Andy?
Right now, a whole lot of sitting on my ass and counting cracks in the ceiling.
But Colonel hates tutorials.
Wasted my life.
It's true.
On better days, I help keep the peace. Boone and Vargas watch the road. I watch the town. Tell myself I'm doing something good.
Boone and Vargas watch the road. What's wrong with Boone?
It's his wife. She's gone. I don't think he'll ever be the same as he was. Damn shame. I told the rangers up the station to keep an eye out, but there's just too much ground out there for them to cover.
What can you tell me about Boone's wife?
Carla was a knockout. Beautiful girl. Face of an angel. Whenever Boone walked around with her, he was always happy, and for good reason, too. That wasn't the only reason
that should change.
She stuck out, though.
That's not what that is going to do, Jung.
If she had better food or hospitality, she'd let you know. Trouble was, she usually had. I don't think she meant it. She really was a sweet girl. I just think she wanted to remind herself that there were nicer places in this world than Novak. Who could blame her for that?
And you're with the NCR, right?
No, not anymore. Ever since my legs. I still like to pretend I'm a ranger.
I like how it says, ever since my legs.
I check in with the guys up the station on the ham radio. Sometimes they stop by, tell me they're paying their respects. They haven't been responding to me lately. I guess they got tired of hearing me talk. It's still got me a little worried. Guess they're just sick of all this bullshit.
Would you feel better if I checked on your NCR friends for you?
No. They'll be all right. They're good soldiers. I don't give them enough.
You're confused, Jung. That's not what it does. What you're referring to is already available on the newer. Basically, it's already available on any NVIDIA graphics card, and what it does, it's a noise removal algorithm, and it's just noise removal. It's not for improving things. You can apply noise removal on anything. Like when you're recording, what you do is you record the line, right? And then you have certain... there's multiple types of noise removal. There's smart noise removal, which is what the NVIDIA cards have, or can have if you want. There's the baseline noise removal, which is the best sort of noise removal when you're recording, because it's very easy to make. What you do, and you might, if you've never done this, you don't know, you've never seen this, but it's relatively simple. What you do is, like, for example, right now, if I shut up, you can't hear anything. But the reason why you can't hear anything is because I have actually a relatively low noise floor, and the microphone is pretty decent as well. But like if I had a fan, I do have a fan over there, but that fan was making a lot of noise. I could record over it, and you could hear the fan as well as I was at the same time as I was talking. But what audio editing software does is you pick when you're quiet, you can hear the fan in the background. So when you're quiet, you select the audio part of the type of sound that you're supposed to remove, and basically the audio editing software is going to remove that sound. And it's kind of magical sometimes. Like, for example, if you have a car in the background, cars don't work very well, but if the engine is like, it's not a very low RPM, if it's not a diesel engine, basically you're good to go. If it does have a car working on the background, and you're talking over the car, you select the noise of the car, and the audio editing software is going to remove that sound. It's not ideal, obviously, but the reason why the reason why audio is crappy is it's very complicated. It's the reason why my audio is crappy every once in a while. It's the reason why my audio was really crappy at the beginning of me doing Let's Plays. You can't see it behind me right now, but I have like audio. It's not audio. It's not soundproof things, but it's sound treatment panels over here on the walls. Like, I can't have noise around in my room. I have a pop filter on microphone. The microphone itself costs a bunch of money. The computer is as quiet as I can get it. There's a lot of things involved in the sound that isn't even the software. That isn't even the hardware. Like, you can have a crappy microphone and still get decent audio. You will need to mess around with the software, but like there's so many steps to having good sound, and the reason why the sound is crappy is because it's difficult to get good sound. That's as simple as it gets. It's difficult to get good sound, and it requires experience. It requires, patience and time. It's complicated. It's complicated. Like, even games have bad sound sometimes. I complain sometimes on I don't remember. There was this one game that I played recently. I think it was... I don't remember what it was. It was like a AAA game. And there were some characters that had just very mouth noisy sounds. Very mouth noisy voice lines. And when I say mouth noisy, is that, your mouth makes noises. When you... There's a lot of things that don't come from your throat. And there's ways to remove that if you want to. There's some people it's easier than others because the voices are different. But usually it's about training of the way you talk. And taking multiple shots. Like you need to hear it. You need to be on the lookout for actually hearing the mouth noises. Like things like your mouth opening. Things like your throat doing some weird things, or your teeth doing clattering or something. That's really annoying. That can be real annoying. And sometimes it's very obvious. And it requires training. A voice actor needs to be on the lookout for that, and needs to be able to do that sort of stuff. Colonel lost 1 HP. Gotta reload. Sometimes you can notice that the recordings were made in different conditions. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I've noticed that with this particular Let's Play with New Vegas. Jung actually called me out once about that. Look at the difference of sound between this and now this. Look at how different it is. And it's not, like, it's completely different. Because then I approach it over here, It's even different for me because this thing is treating the sound. This thing in front of me is treating the sound. I can hear it. And like my headphones are not, I'm not monitoring my voice, which means I'm not hearing myself in the sound of the headphones. But they are open back, which means I can hear things around me, which is really good for voice work. And for many other things. For studio work in general, this is fantastic. Unless you're recording. It can be complicated. But yeah, did you see the difference? It's just a matter of microphone positioning. I got good hearing, says Jung. Yeah, there was a I think it was last stream. No, the second to last stream. I had the microphone really, really separated. And the thing is, like, the volume is about the same, but that's also because I project my voice differently. And I don't know. I need to be better. Basically, it's a matter of being better. The thing is, like, when I'm in this position, I get comfortable, and then every once in a while I'll peak, and I'll forget that I'm peaking. So I'll just actively go really loud. Tell me about the Rangers.
They're the NCR's finest. A one-man platoon, each of them. You got a job where even thinking about it would scare a man senseless. That's when you bring in the Rangers. And if you see a squad of veterans, guys who earn their black armor, well, you won't find a more beautiful sight.
Their armor is really cool, actually. I don't think we've seen any. We saw a Ranger in the intro cinematic for the game, I'm pretty sure. But one-man platoon, I think that the place that we're supposed to go for his friends, it's only one man in there, I'm pretty sure. Did you do something to your leg, by the way?
Yeah, twice. Actually,
Candy Evans, thank you for the follow, and welcome to the stream. How's it going?
Knocked me out of the Rangers. This time, it's mostly just reminded me how useless I've gotten.
What happened?
A few years back, got a tip that some Legion slaves...
You can even hear in his voice, you can hear some changes.
Not too far from where we were.
Like he's recording his lines closer to the microphone.
And it's deserted. No sign anyone's been there. I mean, nothing. As we're leaving, I hear something behind me. I turn around. And there's this kid, just skin and bone. And he's looking up at us. And he's scared half to death. Been hiding in the closet.
What did you?
I go to grab him out of there, and I notice he's holding something in his hand. Something metal. He shuts himself back inside the closet, and that's when I see the grenade he's left by my feet. They do it a lot. The Legion, using kids. They know we'll hesitate. Anyway, that was the first time. Second time, I fell down those stairs in front of the motel. Just in case I got to thinking, I'd put it all behind me.
Your body is injured, not your mind. You're kidding yourself if you think you're useless.
People don't exactly line up to find out what's in my head, but thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Tell you what, there's a move we have in the Rangers for knocking an opponent off his feet. Saved my ass a bunch of times. Maybe it'll help you out. Let me show you how it's done.
I thank you very much. New unarmed technique, Ranger Takedown. You have learned the Ranger Takedown special move. To use this technique, initiate a power attack while moving backwards. You'll drop your opponent to the ground. And we had to fade to black for reasons. What? Oh, it's a palm strike thing. Look at that. He's got a crutch over here. Environmental storytelling. Also a gun case over here that I definitely can't open. And food. Let's see if I can do anything. Surgical tubing. Yeah, let's not mess with this stuff. I mean, I will mess with this stuff, but we're going to have to wait. So this is actually really hard to apply if you want to walk first, backwards, and then start clicking. Look at me. Walk backwards and click, and that's it. When I said click, I started to click. So what you want to do is you want to click and walk backwards. Because the click doesn't actually initiate the power attack. It's the click. Did you see the delay behind that power attack? Click. Yep. So you want to click, and then... Walk backwards immediately. Click and walk backwards. And then you do that. That little detail matters a lot. It matters a lot. We'll see what we're gonna be able to apply, or who we're gonna be able to apply this on. Great for death claws, says Jung. I don't think that's true. I think Jung is pulling my leg right now. I don't think anything is great for death claws. So this house is blocked over. Blocked over? That's words. For sure. Motel room. And of course there's people in here. It's Daisy Whitman. And she has squirrel stew. And noodles. The noodles look like worms. They look awful. There's not much going on. Oh, I didn't mean to do this. Let's have a chat with Daisy.
Hey!
Come here to the light. I want to talk to you.
Fine weather for flying. It's times like these that make me miss it all.
Flying? You were a pilot?
Vertibird pilot.
Oh, she's from Navarro.
And only lost one chopper. Rotor malfunction over Klamath. Hard landing, but I walked away.
Your Mr. Handy didn't walk away. And then people thought there was a ghost west of Klamath. And that is a thing in Fallout 2. What'd you do in Novak?
I help folks strip down the more complicated bits of salvage they bring in. Engines, mostly. The bits and pieces we take out are usually worth more than the whole thing put together.
Did you fly for the NCR?
4? No, not exactly. It was a long time ago. Things are a lot different these days, and those days are way behind me.
It's kind of interesting. Bethesda... Oh my god, Bethesda... So if you don't know what she's referring to the Enclave. And the Enclave are a specific faction in Fallout 2. They don't show up in Fallout 1. And they exist in Fallout 2, and she drove for them. She flew for them. That's what she is referring to. The vertibirds are from the Enclave. And the thing about the Enclave is that they existed as a pretty important faction in Fallout 2. But they, without major spoilers, if you haven't played Fallout 2, they get wiped out. They get destroyed in Fallout 2. So they start existing as a sort of a canonical entity in Fallout 2, and they stop existing as a canonical entity in Fallout 2. Now, obviously, there's going to be survivors. Some survivors. She is a survivor, and good for her. And the interesting bit about her dialogue is that she sounds ashamed. She doesn't want to admit who she flew for. She put it behind her for many reasons, because all of her companions are dead. She probably grew up for the Enclave as well. I don't know if they hire any outsiders, but I could definitely see her growing up in isolation for the Enclave. So there's probably a lot of wounds there, psychological wounds, just on account of the Enclave being wiped out. And I started with Bethesda is because in Fallout 3, what Bethesda does is they bring the Enclave back, just so they could be wiped out again if you want to. No reason. It's just the Enclave back because it's Fallout. Because if they don't have the same things that Fallout has, it's not Fallout, because obviously it's Oblivion. Fallout 3 is Oblivion with guns. Now this game over here, this game isn't Oblivion with guns, but this game over here does a very different job with the Enclave. It mentions it, and it shows that it's dead. Because if the Enclave wasn't dead, what she would be doing right now is hiding her allegiance to an active faction. Can you imagine her having driven for the Enclave and being like, "Oh no, I didn't drive for anybody. It's fine. It's fine." She would, you'd see her with suspicion. You would understand her actions as something suspicious. But that's not what her actions mean. What her actions mean is she doesn't want to recall the past for many reasons, because it's the past. The Enclave is dead. Fallout 3 is not canon, is what that is. It's what that means. Her answer means that Fallout 3 is not canon. Goodbye.
Watch your 6 out there.
And of course, if you don't know what your 6 means, it's like in a watch face. The 6 is your behind, is the lower part of the clock. And if you look at your clock, that you got the 12 in front of you, and you got, of course, you know, the 6 behind you and the 3 to your right, and that's pilot talk. That's what that is. Pilot talk. Also, NCR invade Navarro, and that how they got power armor and vertibirds. Forgot to say that. Oh, is that canonical? That's nice. That's really cool, Young. I love those tiny bits of lore connecting the games. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the nuance as well. It's brilliant. It's like, it's just good game direction, more than necessarily the writing. The writing is good because you need to, obviously it's not anybody that writes dialogue like that. But it isn't like anything outstanding or anything. I think what is outstanding is the direction. Is specifically the wanting to create a character like that, because that character, like, you could make an argument that character is a specific response to the way Bethesda treats the Enclave in Fallout 3. Because what Bethesda does is just bad. It's just really bad. Because they couldn't come up with a better plot. They eventually did in Fallout 4, I'm told. But I never played Fallout 4. I mean, any more than a few hours until I realized that all the writing was awful. And again, not necessarily on an individual level, but on a conceptual level. That's what really stands out, I feel. Writing in RPGs doesn't have to be, and oftentimes is not good on like a immediate level. You know what I mean? Like, good writing, you can sort of like get a quote from somewhere, from a book or from a movie, and just the quote is beautiful, and it's like it's nice, it's very well written. You just see that it's really well written. You know what I mean? Like, that sort of good writing. But then in RPGs, there's not as much room for that, because a lot of the writing has a very utilitarian aspect to it. A lot of the writing in RPGs has a very gameplay oriented aspect to it, because you're role playing a character. You have to ask questions. You have to understand what's going on. You have to get missions and all about a bunch of all that sort of stuff. So it has a lot less room for that artistic side of dialogue to exist, and that's where the concept level, just sort of the big sort of the overall concept of the writing. That's where RPGs really shine, is being able to join different aspects of the game together in the same game and with the writing. And that's why I think Fallout 1 is well written, for example. It's not because there's dialogues that are very well written, although there are, but the biggest achievement of Fallout 1 is being able to join the themes and join with cohesion. It's just like it is a one thing. Fallout 1 is like, it's not like all disparate and the characters don't like all mixed messages and stuff like that. It's just, there's different characters, of course, but there's themes that are explored. There's ways of exploring those themes in Fallout 1. And Fallout New Vegas is basically the same thing. Way more, actually. Fallout New Vegas is way more than Fallout 1. A lot more consistent in the themes and the explorations. Because, that's it's just good writing. I think that's what good writing is for me. Fallout New Vegas is pretty much a response to Fallout 2, I think, says Zero. Yeah. I don't know if it's to Fallout 2 or to Fallout 1, actually. I made a mention before that I think Caesar might be inspired in the Master. I don't know. But if it is the case, if Caesar is supposed to be like a redo of the Master, it might have more to do with Fallout 1 than Fallout 2. But there's it's a mixture of everything. The only thing is that Fallout New Vegas is the true sequence of Fallout 2 and Fallout 3. In Fallout 3 is more of a spin-off. Oh yeah, of course. Of course it is. The thing I didn't like with New Vegas is that while the whole cowboy aesthetics feels weird in Fallout universe, I think I'm not sure if it is in vanilla. In vanilla New Vegas, but with the mods that I have, at the very least, the graphics, I mean, the aesthetics, it's one thing, and I can't, like, I don't really have anything to say one way or the other regarding that. If you don't like it, it's I can't say that you're wrong, because it's just about liking it or not, right? But I think in terms of just being Fallout styled, this game just consistently has been. This time that I'm playing it, it has been consistently a lot of the scenery, especially on the southwest part of you know, the starting area basically, the southwest part of the map, it has been consistently reminding me of the cutscenes in Fallout 1 and 2. Like it's in the concept art. It's like it's obviously made with that sort of aesthetic. But the cowboy is a different thing, though. You can have the same sort of aesthetic and then you have the cowboy. If you don't like it, it's totally fair to say. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think Fallout 2 already has some of that cowboy aesthetic. We just don't get to see it very much because Fallout 2 has such a tiny budget, and they didn't really add too much of new cutscenes and stuff like that. One thing I didn't like in New Vegas is that, so Fallout 3, go find Science Dad. Fallout 4, go find Science Son. Oh boy. Who's that aged? Who's that aged? Oh, right, that was something like that. My god, Bethesda can write for crap. I could see Caesar Master parallels. A little bit, there's a little bit. Well, I don't remember exactly what I thought was. Oh, right, the parallel specifically that I saw was when we talked to Vulpes, and he was talking. He wasn't really doing a critique of the NCR, but well, he was. But the thing is, like, his dialogue is written as a critique of the NCR, even though the character himself is not criticizing the NCR on the way the writers want to criticize the NCR. I'm not explaining myself properly. What I'm saying is there's more to the criticism of the NCR than the character actually says. And that's really cool as well, because it allows the player to read into. And in the first time I played him, I didn't read into that. I didn't read into the criticism of the NCR well enough at all. In fact, I didn't relate Nipton the first time to the NCR, which was my fault. I think the game does a good enough job in telling you that it is an NCR town, and I didn't see it as that. If you go into Nipton and you don't realize it's an NCR town that has been taken out, if you don't have that in your mind, you don't really see what Vulpes says as a criticism of the NCR, and I think that's very important. And I think in that way, maybe, especially in the way he praises the way he praises Caesar, and of course Caesar wants to create a new world and all this sort of stuff. There's some parallels there, I think. Fallout franchise it's very mutant. Every game has its own aesthetics. That's true. I like to see Caesar's Legion versus the Master's Army. Ooh, the Master's Army would win. There's no like, the Master's Army is brutal. The Master's Army is yeah, it's no contest. They're freaking super soldiers. I made the NCR protect Prim, and now every NPC in Prim says wimp out and gave in to NCR, implying that the creators didn't think the NCR was the good guys. Oh, the creators don't think the NCR is the good guys. That isn't the case in Fallout 2. Very clearly, it isn't the case in Fallout 2. But in this game, it is not, absolutely. They're not the good guys. They're written as a criticism of... If you've played Fallout 2, and you saw... I probably should be out here, because we want the time to pass. If you played Fallout 2 and you saw the endings for the NCR, more so than the game itself. The game itself of the NCR only criticizes the NCR as being interested in expanding, which is either criticism or not, depending on your point of view. But the game, like in the game itself, the NCR really only, they're only really criticized insofar as, like, they have ulterior motives. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of politics, and that in an RPG that doesn't really come across as a criticism. It comes more as, oh, that's an interesting faction that I'm gonna be able to do missions for, and just an effect, and there's options and stuff. But when you get the endings for the NCR, you really get a lot of the impression of what the NCR is there to do, which is expand control. So that's like the only criticism that Fallout 2 has of the NCR. And what this game does with the NCR is just it runs away. It picks that idea of the NCR being an expansionist military. So it's military based, but it is also expansionist and sort of wants to civilize, quote unquote, the wasteland. And I I say he wants to civilize, though. The quote-unquote here, that idea doesn't exist in any game. So what I'm saying here is my own take on it. The NCR wants to civilize the wasteland, but that's not really... The game doesn't put it in these terms, and it's complicated if I'm going to talk about it in these terms, but I'm still going to talk about it in these terms. What I mean to say is that what New Vegas does is it picks up on the NCR that was expansionist and military based already in Fallout 2, and wanted to control Vault City and New Reno, and not New Reno specifically, the other one, Redding? Yeah, wanted to control Redding and Broken Hills and a bunch of other stuff in Fallout 2. And what it does with that is it takes that as a template to criticize so the Enclave is a criticism of the United States government, but in the sense that it is a criticism, it's a very cartoonish criticism in a lot of ways, but it is a criticism of the United States government it's a useless government, it's a violent government, and it's a hypocritical government. I think that this is a construct of what the Enclave is, especially when you get to the end of Fallout 2. And obviously, it is the remnants of the United States government, so it's like on the face of it, it is a criticism of the United States government. But what the NCR does on the other side is the bureaucratic and sort of like propaganda-based, jingoistic aspect of the United States. I say jingoistic, but the Enclave is also very jingoistic. They're two sides of the same coin, really. Not so much as they're opposing sides, but they complement each other as a whole criticism of the United States. And when you look at of the government specifically, and when you look at it in those terms, you can see that it's very clear that the NCR they're not the good guys. They're not written to be the good guys, because they're a criticism, they're a satire of the bureaucracy. Like, you can see that here in this game a lot better than Fallout 2, but in this game, like the especially on the last DLC, there's a huge critique of the NCR in the last DLC, the Great Divide or whatever it's called. Like, their politicians are detached from the people. There's no democracy. Like, one of the biggest aspects of, like, immediately in this game is the slave workers that they have, and while at the same time they criticize the like, there's one character, lady, stop. There's one character that very early in the game that criticizes the Caesar's Legion as being slavers, plain and simple. I wonder who that person is over there. I think I know.
You don't think there are any rad scorpions in here, do you?
There's T-Rexes. Does that count? So I'm gonna put that into the Let's Play. Yeah, there's somebody that criticizes the Legion as being slavers, pure and simple. And then, not very far off from there, we immediately see what they're doing with the Powder Gangers, because the Powder Gangers are slaves. Not the Powder Gangers, but the prisoners are slaves, which it ties back into a criticism of the United States government, which is not outright stated, but if you know anything about the prison industrial complex in the United States, then you can see the parallels. And you can also see the freaking parallels of the hypocrisy and stuff like that. So they are absolutely written as a criticism of that. So they're not the good guys. Although you can fall for them if you agree with them. You can fall for them. If you can think of them as a good guys if you agree with their things. And it's just a take. Iggy, welcome to the stream. Followers of the Apocalypse. Followers of the Apocalypse are the good guys. That's probably I don't know what their criticism to. I'm not sure if they're a criticism at all. They might just be a thing. Is there a really good faction in Fallout? Yeah. Really good faction in Fallout. In Fallout New Vegas? I don't know. Probably the House. I didn't give Mr. House a chance to talk. I didn't do any missions for them. So I'll have to see about that. But maybe. If you're willing to detach certain aspects, if you're willing to pick and choose what aspects of each faction are good and what are bad, then you can get good aspects from every faction in this game. But in Fallout as a whole, I don't think there is one faction that is just truly good. like, apart from just people living, like, you know, Klamath people or Junktown or whatever, big factions, they all have their own thing. They all have their own things to tell. You don't think the NCR represents corporate capitalism? No, not corporate capitalism. I never thought that Fallout has a take on capitalism itself, because there's a lot of room for you to go that way if you're going to join all things together. Of course, Fallout as a franchise is more of a criticism of, if you're looking at it from the perspective of what it is criticizing, it's a criticism of weapons of mass destruction and war, and it, like, it's complicated to put it next to other fiction that criticizes war, especially fiction from the 80s and the 70s, from before obviously Fallout. It's complicated, but there are enough hints that Fallout is sort of created to be a criticism of that. But it's not really focused. It's not focused on that. There's a lot of other stuff. I think looking at the NCR as a criticism of capitalism, though, I don't think it is. But you can see that. You can, if you want to observe that, to see parallels, you can absolutely do that. It doesn't go far out enough. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I think for me, the easiest way to identify a take on capitalism, criticism or otherwise, or a satire, or whatever you want to do, for me, what I think is the easiest thing is profit. It is profit. It's the concept of profit and the all-consuming sort of, like, it is, profit is at the center of whatever enterprise you're doing. So if you look at cyberpunk settings, which are very much a criticism of capitalism, or a dystopia, obviously, but if you look at that, then you can see that the profit playing a major part, and the effects it has, and all this sort of stuff. And of course, it's, if you're going to look at like a Shadowrun or a Ghost in the Shell, and you look at it as a criticism of capitalism, well, Ghost in the Shell is not as much of a criticism of capitalism as it's more of a take on the personhood and transhumanism and a bunch of other stuff. But the setting is still back there, and police states and all that sort of stuff. But Shadowrun in particular is a good example. If you compare how Shadowrun criticizes capitalism with how Fallout is supposed to criticize capitalism, it's night and day. Like, I can't see that. That's what I mean to say. I can't, like, sure, maybe it's there, but I think the biggest criticism of capitalism, if you want, like, it's not even a criticism of capitalism, it's just sort of like a mention of a really bad thing that happens, or that has happened, and still happens, but in the United States happened in the past. It's in Reading, I believe. There's the mines, and the miners are paid with chips from each of the mine companies, and that's the thing that happened in the United States. And so what that means is that you can't use those chips outside of the mine company. So you're basically a slave to the company, and you see that as well in some parts of the Shadowrun setting. So I think that is the closest you get to a direct criticism of capitalism in Fallout 2 specifically, not even in Fallout 1. Also because the NCR doesn't exist in Fallout 1, but still, and new rating isn't the NCR, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. No faction wants to rule the whole wasteland. No faction that wants to rule the whole wasteland can be good, I think, says Zero. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I believe that the NCR is a criticism of the state or democracy. Oh yeah, that's right. There are, I think, I didn't hear it. But I think the Master specifically criticizes democracy. But I haven't heard it. I don't remember that I heard it. I did talk to I say the Master. I mean Caesar. I think Caesar criticizes democracy, but I don't remember him talking about it. But if that is the case, then that definitely is the criticism of that. I think they had good intentions, but more they increase in power, the more corruptible they become, and it gets out of hand. Yeah, that's a good simplification of how I see the NCR. The followers can be enablers, though. I think they initially taught cans how to make drugs, but they end up making most of the drugs the fiends use. So even then, there's negatives. I think the NCR represents corporate capitalism as well. Like I said, they represent the democracy system to me. Yeah, but the thing is, corporate capitalism isn't democracy. It's an antithesis of democracy. It's not an antithesis, but what I mean is, like, corporate capitalism is it maybe. First off, the power that the NCR holds isn't in the corporations. The power the NCR holds is specifically in the state. So it isn't corporate capitalism, it's state capitalism. It's a centralized authoritarian capitalism in some ways, and that is why that maybe is where the criticism of democracy comes in, is in the control that the NCR itself holds over the options that people have. So I don't have it in mind right now. We're very early in the game as well, but I don't have it in mind what the criticisms are specifically. But the thing is, they don't have corporations. There's no like, there's no stocks or anything. Maybe there are, but it's like it doesn't play a role in the setting in the storytelling. They don't talk about that. It's about the military might. It's about the expansion. So that's why it's more a criticism. If it is capitalism at all, it's state capitalism. For it to be the thing is, for it to be specifically, if you join corporate capitalism with democracy, it needs to be like the thing is, think about capitalism as voting with your wallet, right? In terms of democracy, we can think about it like that. And then when you get to the corporate aspect of it, you're going to immediately see that some people are going to have a whole lot of money and others are not. And that's why it doesn't work with democracy, because the voting with your money, well, some people are going to have a lot more votes. And that isn't fair. That isn't democracy. That isn't democratic. And that's where it collapses. So if you join the two things together, it collapses. And if you want to make it a critique about it, you need to analyze that. And that's why I think that it isn't necessarily but I might be wrong. This is just my take right now, because you know it's been 2 or 3 years since I played this game, and I only played it to the end once. So yeah, I would probably be a drug addict if I was a fiend living in a dump. Not only Caesar, but Mr. House criticizes democracy too. Corporate capitalism is entirely the Outer Worlds. Yeah. The Outer Worlds is the criticism of corporate capitalism, and you can like immediately tell the difference in the freedom of people. Really, there's no illusion. I mean, I guess it also depends on what kind of criticism you're making. But in the Outer Worlds, there's no illusion that people are free, which is really interesting as well. In the NCR, it is they are all about just sort of like freeing people and stuff like that. Even in Fallout 2, they are about that. But in this game, they are as well. They come across as especially when they are immediately contrasted with the Legion. They are about freeing people. So let's see what that guy has to say over there, because I've been talking for a while, and I want to see if I can talk to him. Hey.
Come on in.
You stay next to the radioactive place?
Welcome to the Dino Bite gift shop. My name's Cliff. If you're here for the T-Rex figurines, you're just in time. There's still a few left.
I know a guy that confuses the Outer Worlds with communism. What do you make of that? I could see that. I think I could see that. The subtext in the Outer Worlds isn't overly politicized, I feel. I talked about it. I talked about it before. When I think I talked about it specifically when I finished the Outer Worlds, and I talked about it on stream as well. I don't remember what game I was playing, but I think I talked about it on stream. It's the communist, the poor people share the crumbs. The game, if you notice, the Outer Worlds. The game never really analyzes political theory. It never goes into political theory discussion. And you contrast that with Disco Elysium, and you can see it so clearly. The Outer Worlds could be so political, and I don't think it is. What I think it is, it's like a cartoonish It's not a cartoonish, on purpose, but like it just doesn't. It's not there. And they even said it before the game was released. The Outer Worlds isn't there to explain to you why its jokes work. If you understand why its jokes work, or more importantly, the way you understand its jokes to work, that's the way it works for you in the Outer Worlds. So if you look at the Outer Worlds and you want to see some semblances of the control that I would say probably the USSR held over its citizens, there's enough of there for you to go on with that. And you can even see that in some of the imageries and the posters and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it's not nearly as much as the counterpart, as it were. But I can see why people, especially people that have been that grew up with the Red Scare in the United States, or just people who are of that political persuasion, I suppose, of the sort of like anti-communist side of things. And when I say communist here, I mean specifically the bureaucratic kind of communism that was very specific of the United States, of the USSR, I should say, because of course. And that's where I'm gonna see. But if you want to look at that, you can probably see a lot of that. The thing is, if that's why it works, because it doesn't actually talk about political theory or anything in that aspect. The Outer Worlds never approaches the basic aspect of what communism is, which is the common ownership of the means of production. That's where the word comes from. I think it is fair for people to sort of see it as maybe an allusion to the USSR, because what the USSR is state capitalism. Historically, I mean, what it is. The whole revolution in progress never really worked in the sense that it never really advanced beyond what it was very early, and it just walked back in many aspects. But the thing is, if you're gonna, I'm not one to criticize the USSR because I didn't grow up there and I don't know enough about it to be able to say specific things about it. But I feel that if you are gonna make about the USSR and its failings and an honest take, not a weird thing like making fun of it like the Outer Worlds is, but if you're gonna make an honest take about the failings of the USSR, you're gonna need to take it on at full value that it's never really communism. It's never really about the common ownership of the means of production. So when you say the Outer World confuses the Outer Worlds with communism, I can see that, but only if by communism you mean whatever aberration eventually ended up happening. Because if it is from a political perspective, then no, it's like you're the guy just doesn't understand what communism is supposed to be. Not in the sense in the sense that what I mean is the people who say they're communists, yeah, maybe they are like in the Outer Worlds, but that's not necessarily communism. Several similarities with communism itself. Yeah. It is not communism, but it has similarities. Yeah, especially I think it has similarities in the effects, I feel. But I think the other thing is that it might. I don't know. I don't know about the conversation that Jung had with this guy. But I can also see people understanding the anti-capitalist perspective that the Outer Worlds has. I can see some people looking at the Outer Worlds and seeing that it is a critique of capitalism and seeing, oh, that's communism, and saying the Outer Worlds is communism because it is anti-capitalist, which is one of the many reasons why communism is just misunderstood. It's because anything that is anti-capitalism is communism, and or anything that isn't ultra-liberal capitalism is communism. But yeah, he's Romanian. I don't know. I can't begin to imagine what it is like living in an authoritarian regime. But I grew up educated by people who were born and lived under an authoritarian regime. Obviously, it was here in Portugal. It was a fascist regime. But in a lot of aspects, like authoritarianism, dude, it's just At the end of the day, it's just who are you screwing up and who is getting out on top and who isn't. It's like painting it in different colors of political persuasions, as it were. It just serves to muddy the waters, and it doesn't really matter. People who are born and live in a place that is authoritarian, it doesn't matter if you're in capitalism or if you're under communism or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're being oppressed. Even if you unless you're really on top, you're being oppressed one way or the other. And in that aspect, I can never criticize somebody who comes at me and says, "You don't know, man. You didn't live." And I don't. I don't know what it is. I'm very fortunate to not live in a place right now that isn't. I don't live in a place that is authoritarian, and there are people who do right now live under a place authoritarian. So their perspective is something that I probably will never understand. So it's not. Don't mistake what I'm saying here for sort of disregarding people's opinions, basically. Disco Elysium developers are Marxists, I think. Yeah, I think they're. I think I don't remember who it was, but I think one of them, when they agreed, when they received the. They received the Games Award. I don't remember what it was, which one it was, but they received one at least, and they specifically thanked Marx and Noam Chomsky. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, Disco Elysium is written specifically from that perspective, and you can immediately tell. It's so obvious the takes that the game has. Salazar was so nice. What do you mean? Says Superphallus. Oh no, I'm. Did my connection drop? I don't think so. I also recently had Miti Sisi. My sister boyfriend is Romanian, and he offered to make some, and it was you're talking about something else. Call Harry for me, says Young. But yeah, Salazar was from what I can tell, since I mentioned the authoritarian regime that Portugal lived under, he was a fascist. There's many aspects of it that make it really obvious. Like the designation makes it really obvious, but Salazarism is an interesting outlier in the history of fascism. So say the historians. I studied a little bit. I had some classes regarding specifically political history of Portugal, a modern political history of Portugal, and I studied a little bit what happened during Salazarism. I majored in archaeology, but I had some classes about it. So I'm not completely uninformed, and I'm not just talking about from the experience of what I learned from people talking in books and whatnot. But the major aspects of it really come across. The major aspects of Salazarism really come across as the racist war against the colonies, and the stubborn and idiotic, just like it's. Fascism is just a failed ideology in general, so it's very easy to criticize any fascist leader throughout history as just being dumb. But it was always going to be so that is always the case. But the thing is, like the continued war against the colonies that Portugal continued all throughout the middle of the 20th century. First off, devastated the country economically speaking, killed thousands of people. And just created an enduring legacy that still persists to this day, where our ex-colonies just are under extreme poverty and corruption scenarios that are all because of Salazar. And not all in the sense that, obviously, since he died, it's not always because of him, but it all can be traced to there. And before that, obviously, to the whole colonism thing and all that. But obviously, the process of decolonization was extremely quick after the revolution in 74. So that didn't help. But there was a very dire need of getting the country out of the war. And maintaining the presence in the colonies was going to be very expensive anyway. It just was all manner of fucked up. But the racist aspect of it, of that war, that's what I think really stays the most with just the ideology behind Salazar, because you can see that everywhere in the education of the people, everywhere in the institutions that existed. It's just the aspect of I don't know if this happens elsewhere, but there. Do you know how the Nazis made up? I don't think it was them that made up, but they really took the idea of the Aryan race and the superiority of the Aryan race and just went on with it. Salazar kind of wanted to do the same thing and did the same thing in many, many aspects with the Luso race. To these words. I'm talking the direct translation of the words that he used. And the Luso race is the people of here, Portugal. Lusitania is the name of is an oldish name here of the lands of Portugal. Portugal is a very old country in terms of the borders. So our borders are very well defined for hundreds and hundreds of years. So there's a rich history of just the people who lived here. And of course, you can see the same strategies of just using history to prop up state propaganda, changing history to prop up state propaganda, and just making it up. There's like all the same strategies over and over again. But the racial aspect of it is so strong and so everywhere. And it still endures to this day. Like, obviously, it endures to this day, but the influence it has on the treatment of Romani people, and the treatment of even Spanish people. There's a lot of the fascist ideology for the distrust for foreigners here in Portugal still. And we're a very welcoming country, people in general. Like we're generally a very safe country. There's not a whole lot of crime and stuff like that. So it's something that generally people say that when they come to Portugal, people are nice and welcoming. But that doesn't mean that they don't have that sort of harbored distrust and just sort of it's just ingrained in it was ingrained into the culture for hundreds of years. Not for hundreds of years, for decades, I should say, during Salazarism. Record yourself saying Harry and repeat the sound until Harry shows up, says Jung. Authoritarianism is bad regardless of the side. I like a phrase that says rifles don't have a party. That's a cool sentence. Didn't the same thing happen to Spain but with communism? Nope. Spain is well, it's basically the same thing as Portugal, as far as I'm aware. It was Franco, a general. So, sorry, I dropped something. It was a general, so it had a militaristic aspect of it. But I don't actually know enough. General Franco would be the one to look up, and a lot of the political. The thing with Spain is kind of complicated. A lot of the political elite of Franco still persists to this day. They never really went away after the revolution. I think, cause I'm not really sure what the conditions of the revolution are, of the Spanish Revolution after Franco died or something. I don't even know. I didn't study the Spanish thing. Wasn't there a communism revolution in Portugal? I would think there is. It's the process of coming out of the fascism state of Estado Novo is the name, like the Third Reich. That's our version of the Third Reich. The process was very complicated. There are, I don't know if it was Reagan. There are some texts and some communications that say that the United States wanted Portugal to become a communist state as an example for the rest of Europe, so that the rest of Europe wouldn't want communism, which is a partial strategy of how they acted with Cuba as well, and they still do in regards to the embargoes and stuff like that. And Venezuela as well, but although Venezuela, the petrodollar situation is very complicated, and I'm also not 100%, like, I don't know enough about Venezuela to know what's going on there. But what I mean is there's some things there that they kind of wanted Portugal to just sort of like go to the other side, go from fascism to communism. So the Portuguese Communist Party, I think, exists since, I say exists because it exists today. It's one of the four major parties of the country. It exists since 1920-something. and it existed all throughout as opposition to the fascism regime. It existed all throughout, and I think the Socialist Party was created. The Socialist Party is now the party that is, it's the major party of Portugal right now. It was created, I think, either right after the revolution, I'm not sure, or right before, or something like that. And they played a major role in sort of like bringing the sort of political elite together. Also very much aided by the military. Our revolution of of 74 is a revolution made by the military, essentially. It's just really interesting in how revolutions go in European countries, especially for one so close to our modern day. But the Socialist Party itself helped sort of like avoid a complete takeover of the Communist Party, the Portuguese Communist Party, that wanted to just take control of the government. And so they said, no, we shouldn't just give you that. We're going to make elections in this way and that way. They wanted to go for a much more groundbreaking change from the old institutions. And while there were a lot of institutions that eventually changed, instead of being a revolution that all happened in a year, it took like 10 years for everything to just sort of like come down from the previous regime. And how major, like percentage? The Communist Party, I think, is like 13%. Or do you mean the Socialist Party, which is like 30 or something, 35? It's just Portuguese history. I'm not like, I might be missing some details over here. I'm just sort of like drawing from memory. I did major in a history-related field, so yeah. You guys and your revolutions, yeah. There's a bunch of them. There's like 4. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. No, wait. How? 1, 2, 3. 3 revolutions in the 20th century. There's the one where we ended the monarchy. There's the one where the authoritarian regime took over, which was a coup d'etat, rather. And then there's the Carnation Revolution. And it's interesting, like, I grew up knowing about this. I grew up knowing about the role the military had in the Carnation Revolution, in taking down the previous regime, and why they didn't like the previous regime, which had to do with the endless war in the colonies, basically. It's not just that, but it is also part of that. They really, really hated the guts of the government because in general, just the military in general hated the guts of the government. Not everybody, obviously, but because they just of the way they were exploiting the troops in the colonies, and so they helped with a revolution for that. And just so I grew up with that knowledge, and I think that shaped. I think about it a lot because, well, especially in modern day, it's the world as it is, and I think about it a lot, and I think about why I see the military the way I see, or not the military, not our military, just military people in general, and the distinction between the military and the government and who the military serves, and also the distinction between the military and the police, because obviously the police was on the side of the fascist regime, because that's the role of the police, but it's not the role of the military. And for me, a military person is always somebody who, at the end of the day, like, you can want to be in the military, you can just sort of be there begrudgingly, and you can agree with your government or you can disagree. But I think at the end of the day, what makes a military person is that it's the serving aspect of it. It's just sort of like you're giving something up from yourself, and in many cases, something very, very close to you, which is like your sanity and just your parts of your body or your life. And you're giving it for your country or for somebody else's money, because that is the case, or for whatever ideal, as it were. And that selflessness, I find to be very brave, to be very I wouldn't want to be in the military. I'm a colonel, but I'm not one of those colonels. I wouldn't personally want to be in the military, but from very selfish reasons. Like, anytime I think about it, it's for specifically very selfish reasons. It's because I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to have to exert myself in that as well. But mostly because I don't want to be in those situations. So I have respect for that. But also, I think that is combined with the fact that it was the military that got us out of the fascism state. So, yeah. Honestly, this mini history lesson on Portuguese politics was interesting AF. Thank you, Robot Botany. I ramble about a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those of you who didn't find it interesting, but thank you for finding it interesting, Robot Botany. Is Portugal's official name Kingdom of Portugal, like Sweden's official name is Kingdom of Sweden? No, Jung. Portugal's official name is Portugal Republic, or Republic of Portugal, I believe, is the translation. We don't have a king or a kingdom. We don't do that. Since 1910. History is great, but never seems to prevent repeating the same mistakes. It's not, yeah, it doesn't. But history doesn't serve... History doesn't serve to prevent... It never... The reason why history doesn't prevent... Or the reason why people knowing about history doesn't prevent making the same mistakes isn't because of the history. It is because of the power. It's always about the power and who has it. In what kind of system that you have. Maybe you have a system that, all that matters is that who has the biggest cannon. And that's a question about who has the biggest cannon. Maybe this is a system about who has the most money, and that becomes about who has the most money. But it's always about power. You would have to know why it happened in the first place. Yeah, I'm Brazilian, says Zero. And we were colonized by Portugal, so it's not... So it's interesting to know this because I don't know much about Portuguese history. I don't know much about Brazilian history as well. And there were a few... I do know that there were a few upheavals things in Brazil. I think specifically in the 80s. The 1980s. Brazil stopped being a colony of Portugal through a revolution in Brazil, I believe. And became the Empire of Brazil, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. And I believe that was in the 1700s. So it was a pretty early emancipation of the colonies. We call it here, teaching it in schools, we call it the emancipation of the colonies, which is a really condescending name, super condescending name. But it is what we call it. And Brazil just always had a very close relationship to Portugal, obviously, as a country. Yeah. So, let's continue talking to Cliff over here. So what do you sell here?
Well, there's T-Rex figurines.
This game makes sounds?
That's our bread and butter. We also have an assortment of the Repcon factory.
Okay, Brazil back.
Rockets, things of that nature.
What supplies and guns do you sell? Those?
Gun?
That was... I made the best line.
Yeah, I guess I might have a few. Darn it, no one ever buys the T-Rexes.
I want to buy the T-Rexes. Can I buy the T-Rex? I wonder if he says anything about us buying the T-Rexes. Tell me more about the souvenir rockets.
They're scale replicas of the real thing. Very detailed. Got a liquid in them that makes them glow. From what I hear, Repcon used to give them out on tours of their HQ up in Henderson. But I guess they had to stop after the first few kids thought they were filled with Nuka-Cola and drank it down. The papers had a name for the condition and everything. They called it the Repcon Shakes. Those were bad times for Robco.
I wonder if Fallout is canonically, or the United States is canonically a very litigious country, as it is in modern-day U.S. Zero is saying, Fique feliz... I'm going to say it with Portuguese accent, I'm sorry. I maybe be able to do it with the Brazilian pronunciation, but let's see. Fique feliz em saber que posso mandar português aqui. Hey, hey. Yes, absolutely. Although other people might have to do Google Translate and stuff. How did they end up here?
Well, they unloaded what they had left on the Dinobite as a tax write-off, but that was before my time. Plenty of demand for them, seeing as how they're one-of-a-kind collector's items, but I might still have some in back.
Oh, you have some in back. I'd like to see what you've got for sale.
Sure thing. Have a look.
Please have a power fist. Please have a power fist. Baseball bat GRA. That's guns. I don't know what it is. It's an arsenal. It's something. Arsenal. Hyperbreeder Alpha. Don't. Paciencia over here. That's probably the Spanish word rather than the Portuguese word. Power fist GRA. We got the power fist GRA, ladies and gentlemen, and beautiful people. We have. Oh yes. I wonder how much more damage it does compared to my current power fist. So it's the same, except this one, of course, can be upgraded. How very curious. Give me that. Gun Runners, says Super Phallus. Thank you. Thank you for that. Gun Runners Arsenal. That's the one. I always found it a little bit weird that it is called that, but it is called that. Let's see. I don't think I can sell many things over here. I will be able to sell some drinking. Of course, we're going to need to buy things. Does Brazil buy Swedish jet fighters? I bet. Saab jet fighters? Am I wrong in saying that Saab is from Sweden? No. I'm right. I'm right. I am still carrying Night Stalker eggs. No wonder I was over encumbered. My god. What a terrible person I am. Okay, so let's see what else we have over here. Because that gun... Yeah, there's some interesting things in here. Some unique stuff. Including a gun runner's baseball bat. Apocalypse Gladiator armor. That's a little bit too rich for my blood. Look at that. Lucky battle armor. That's proper stuff. I think it's a combat armor, except it's for snipers, basically. Not for me. I wonder if there's anything for punchy people. Punchy pinchy people. I know very good at the very good. Nope. Just not much of that. Okay. Boxing times. No, these are just magazines. I think we have, yeah. Didn't know there were Swedish jet fighters. Yeah, they're not very good, so nobody wants them. They're bad. They're bad Swedish jet fighters. I'm sorry, Young, I'm picking on you. And also on the Swedish jet fighters. Ooh, ammo surplus. Oh, no, that's them that are selling. Okay. We got the Dinky T-Rex. Oh my god, those are heavy. No, it's light. It's 1,000 that weighs 100. Oh, we got some mods. Power Fist Chrome Tubes. I don't even know what to say. Oh, but it isn't. It is. No, it is. It is GRA. Look at the effects right there. Gun Runners as an arsenal. You need to pronounce the zzz, otherwise it's just the arsenal of the gun runner rather than the arsenal of the gun runners. And a rocket souvenir. It's a quest item. Possibly for later. Well, thank you very much. What can you tell me about Boone's wife?
Can't say we spoke much. Boone did most of the buying for him. She was in the store once, but she didn't stay long. Had a look on her face like she'd smelled something sour. But far as I can remember, the gift shop smelled fine. Well, fine as it always does.
Yeah, okay.
Come back soon now.
Maybe. Because I bought your thing, but now... wait, there we go. Power Fists. That's the one. Let's also mod it. With the tubes and the chambers. Heck yeah. And now it's faster. The damage per second has increased, and of course it has more durability. Eddie. Give me all of your crap, because you have a lot of crap. I'm going to sell it all. Ooh, combat armor. Oh, yeah. Might want to use that, but we're not gonna worry too much about that for right now. Ammo, absolutely want ammo. Jung has left the chat after I criticized Saab Aerospace. Actually, what does Saab stand for? Is it Swedish Aerospace thing? That sounds like it would be.
Welcome back. Can I get you anything?
I want to sell you the rest of the stuff.
Sure thing.
I stopped him when I needed to stop him. Let's see. So we have a lot of weapons. Boxing tape is for knockout stuff. Svenska Aeroplan IB. Did they just add the AB at the end to make it look nicer? Jung has not left the chat after all. Carton of cigarettes. Okay. And the ammo. I don't think Delilah is carrying anything for me. And that's it.
Come back soon now.
I wonder if Boone is still here. Oh, yes, it is. He is. We're gonna need to wait until he changes his shift. Do you actually sit down over there? Do you actually sit down in there? I'm sorry, I'm being very rude. I didn't mean to do that. It's just that I'm a little bit on the, yes, broken side of things. I was just launching the missiles to Portugal. Oh boy. Acti Bolaget is what AB stands for. Hey Dark Thuru, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Welcome. How's it going? You almost died earlier today. In my... Daisy?
Hey there.
What are you doing out here?
Your travel's been going all right?
It's fine, you know.
Watch your six out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you almost died in Battle Brothers. But I saved you. I don't remember who... It wasn't me. It was somebody else. Hi.
Please don't kill me. I swear I have... Wait, you don't work for Mr. Bishop, do you?
You mean Bishop from New Reno? I don't. What makes you think that?
Sorry, it's just... You look like his type, you know? You got that hard-ass wasteland explorer thing going on.
H.A. Bolaget. Jung, pronunciations doesn't work if you put it like that. I can only imagine how it's pronounced in Swedish. H.A. Bolaget? I don't know. I know you hate fireworks. Good call. That's a good call. Again, they're targeting me now. They are. Aren't you that singer from New Reno? I think I saw you play the clubs there.
Oh, so you heard of me. Yeah, that's right. I was a big draw at the Shark Club. People used to pay hundreds of caps to see me.
Why did you come all the way out here from New Reno?
You don't know Mr. Bishop. He's not like the other bosses up there.
I killed him in my last playthrough of Fallout 2.
He likes to wander it. I knew if I didn't get...
Actually, that's probably the son of the Vault Dweller. Why would this Mr. Bishop be after you?
Oh, well, that's all
super
just
busy.
Misunderstanding. See, Mr. Bishop, well, he owed me a lot of money, and you know, he's a busy guy, so I sort of figured I'd just take it off his hands.
You robbed the casino boss.
Robbed is such an ugly word, man.
No, it's pretty good.
It's more like I took care of a payroll problem for him. Also, I might have sort of plowed his daughter.
Yeah,
a little.
I've been there. Yeah. You really don't know when to quit, do you?
I guess I don't. That's why I'm here.
I will let you know if I find any work for a singer.
You do that? Great. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah. See you later.
And I think I know where to get work for him, actually. We're not going to go there in a while, but I remember that. Oh, he's just standing here. listening to his conductor, but not the kind of conductor that you'd expect him to listen to, because, you know, the musical conductor, that's not what it is. It's a, I'm actually not sure what that is, because anything can be a conductor, but that is a specific type of conductor. Anyway, this motel room is very... Oh, I'm hidden. Who's here? There's drugs. And I lose karma for taking the drugs. How come? I mean, probably because the people who lives here needs them. That's usually how it goes. Oh, there's more drugs. Jet. There's also blood on the floor. Hey. Oh, there's cigarettes over here. And more jet. Why am I losing karma over here? This game is a little bit inconsistent when it comes to losing karma due to stealing. Because it's not just... Oh, disregard key. It's not just if you steal things that are owned. It's if you steal some things. Oh, this is Boone's room. He's not here. Listening to the radio. Terrible person. He's such a terrible person. He has wine because he listens to the radio, you know. More blood over here. What is that? Buff out. It's just some drugs. Television set. I don't know why he has a television set. It's broken. And there's no television stations. Pork and beans, though. I don't know why he has that. So no info there, as far as I could tell, anyway. About his wife. Probably shouldn't have turned the lamp on, or the light on, before coming in here. You have a teddy bear over there. And vodka. That was put there on purpose. I think the person who lives here has a drinking problem, potentially. And there's a mushroom growing out of the bathroom. Or, not bathroom, the bathtub. Manny Vargas's room. Hey, excuse me. Are you Manny What? It's 8 a.m., dude. Rise and shine. It's you work the days. He has grilled mantis over here. I'll take it. And noodles. You can keep the noodles. They look like worms to me. I don't know why he's... well, for one, I don't know why I can take his stuff. Why there's so much blood on the floor. Who else is... There's many things going on right here. I think he might be a criminal. I think the game might be telling us something here. Is he the one that killed Boone's wife? And slept with her? Seriously. Seriously, the game is... The environmental clues here are everywhere. Let's see what else is everywhere. Can hospitality. Manny, you made the right choice putting us up and keeping it quiet. Right. I will need to ask him about the people who killed me. Maybe that's why he's the villain. He's working with the people who killed me at the beginning of the game. I mean, this weasel Benny's been twitchy since we stole that package from his boss, making me nervous as hell. But when I found out we'd be passing through on our way to Boulder City, well, that's where I'm going next, I was sure we could count on you. Let the other cans say what they want. I know where your loyalty is. One day you'll remember where you belong, and your brothers and sisters will welcome you back to like you never left. You know where to find us. McMurphy. And I got a map added, a map location added. Boulder City. They don't like me very much. Manny, I need to talk to you.
What's going on, man?
You have a beret. Who are you?
I'm Manny. I'm on security detail.
Read the PC. I know. I'm building the atmosphere.
You got a 50-50.
See you later, Robo. Thank you for showing up. Have a good night. What do you protect your town from?
You name it. Anything that comes within 1,000 yards that looks like trouble. Lately, we've been getting ghouls coming from the road to Repcon out to the west. Quite a few last couple days. The big threat.
Let him sleep on his day off.
If they decide to attack with a full force, they'll run us over. But so far, we've been lucky.
Who's Boone?
Boone's a sniper, same as me. Used to spot for him when we were enlisted with the NCR. After we got out, I talked him into settling down here. So, here we are. I'd introduce you, but, we're not so friendly right now.
Oh, really? What was your tour with the NCR like?
Oh, it was great. I wouldn't trade it. Something about that lifestyle, the discipline,
sounds so...
seeing new places.
It doesn't sound very convincing.
Safe. What's not to like?
You don't sound very convincing. So why'd you leave?
Well, I just felt like it was time, you know? Wanted to have a home. Plus, I was up at Camp Golf when Bitter Springs went down. I faked like I was sick to get out of going because I knew some of the people there. But when everybody came back, nobody would tell me what happened, and people would call us murderers sometimes when we showed up to secure towns.
Camp Golf, huh? I think this is gonna tie into, well, us going to Camp Golf and hearing about what's going on over here. Huh? What did happen at Bitter Springs?
I still don't know exactly. Just that a lot of people died who didn't want to be a part of the fighting at all. I don't blame anybody for it. There's so much chaos when you're fighting. You're lucky not to shoot your own guys. But it did take something out of it for me. Just wasn't the same. So when it came time to re-enlist, I just took my papers and walked.
You don't blame anybody for it. I don't think this is meant to be taken as a real take on the situation. You absolutely would blame somebody. The leaders of the freaking army? If there's chaos, it's because you put the soldiers in there. You don't put soldiers next to civilians. Unless you want somebody to die, basically. I mean, you put the I mean, it's fine for the soldiers to be next to civilians. What I mean is, like, fighting. Because there's going to be collateral damage. And he just doesn't see that, or maybe he's hiding something. I don't know. Why are you on bad terms with Boone?
Me and his wife, we didn't see eye to eye on some things. We had some pretty big arguments.
Let's golf.
One day, she turns up missing, and he hasn't said a word to me since.
Ah, what did you and Boone's wife argue about?
Man, you name it. See, I grew up in North Vegas. Me and my cousins. We were some bad seeds. Got in with a gang. I loved it. Then something happened. And I couldn't handle it anymore. So I enlisted, earned my future, brought down my best friend to share that future with me. And here was this woman who was too good for it, trying to take him away. So yeah, I didn't see eye to eye with the bitch.
You were jealous. You were jealous, admit it. Also, we know which gang he is referring to, which is a good thing for us to have read the computer before talking to him. I wonder if I can actually point that out. I can ask that, yeah. So you were in a gang. Were they tough?
Were they tough? I was in the cons, man.
Oh, he actually says it. He actually says it out loud. Huh. Well, I guess, we knew. Did you have anything to do with Boone? Let's not ask that right now. Who would want to hurt Boone's wife?
Man, everybody. That girl didn't have one friend in this whole town. She didn't want any. She wanted to sit in her room all day and make herself miserable. And she went out of her way to be rude. She upset a lot of people. You wouldn't have liked her either.
I bet I would have. So, did you have anything to do with Boone's wife's disappearance?
Believe me, when I heard the news, my first thought was, I owe somebody big. I figured Boone would come around after a while. But he hasn't. I'm starting to think that if he doesn't find her, things will never go back to the way they were.
I mean, dude, you are gonna need to find another dude. But, we'll see. Goodbye.
Yeah, see ya.
He actually sounds... It's good that he sounds very unconvincing on that other line, because he sounds super convincing in his lines about his wife. Or not his wife, his boyfriend's wife. So I guess we're gonna have to figure that out. I wonder if the Marshal... Oh, he's still sleeping, isn't he? Or not Marshal, the Ranger. He's getting up! He's going to... Oh yeah, he definitely has a... He definitely walks. If you know what I mean. He's good, man. Ah.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome.
Absolutely, definitely didn't take the book that was on your bed. Let's read it. You karma, stupid karma, telling me that I can't steal my book. I'll tell you. I'll learn about medicine good. And I'll be able to fix all the stuff that is fixable. Probably not all the stuff, but some stuff. Hey.
The salvage business has really slowed down since those ghouls took over Repcon.
Yeah, I've heard about those ghouls. Still gonna need to figure that out, aren't we? We have the reception. The front desk. I wonder if there's anybody here now.
Hey there.
Hi.
Well, welcome
It's a
to
love
you.
triangle. Of
You
course.
look tired from the road. Why don't you relax a spell? Let this fine town take care of you.
Yes. We haven't met yet.
Oh, what am
I think I know where she lives.
I got
She doesn't
to
live in
thinking
here.
about
She
making
lives.
a
She has
good
a
impression
house outside.
and plain forgot to tell you my name. I'm Jeannie May. I take care of folks here at the motel, long as they aren't troublemakers.
Really? What is this place?
We're in a little desert oasis, name of Novak. This is the Dino Delight Motel, and it's mine.
What is there of interest around here?
Well, there's Dinky, the town mascot. He's a sight. You probably already saw him when you came in, but you can go up inside, too. Up the road a ways to the west, there's Repcon. That's the old rocket factory. There's been some sinister characters out there lately, so you may want to stay clear. Other than that, nothing to do but take it easy and enjoy good company.
Sinister characters, huh? That's how you call ghouls. Anything else?
Well, up north a ways, you'll see a big tower. That's Helios 1. Used to be a power plant in its day. And there's a town just east of here called Nelson. Used to be such a quaint little place until those slavers took it over. But we got
Must
our
have been the
wonderful
NCR.
snipers keeping an eye in that direction, and so far, the slavers have left us alone.
I think I want to go to Nelson first. It's interesting that she says the slavers rather than the Legion. She doesn't say the Legion. Can I ask specifically about Nelson? Not really. Tell me about Repcon.
I just know what I've heard.
Communist ghosts, not ghouls.
There'll be some ghouls that went in a
Communist
while
ghosts,
back.
that's funny.
Ever so often, there'll be a commotion from that direction. Explosions and such. Watch out for strangers.
Hey, don't stop.
I hope you're finding everything to your liking.
Why did you stop talking to me? I have so many questions. Where can I get some supplies?
Go see Cliff Briscoe at the Dino Bite gift shop and tell him I sent you.
Thank you so much, Gentleman Junkie, for subscribing. Welcome to the stream. And 18 months. Thank you very much.
He'll be glad for the company.
Jung is not Portuguese. Jung is, well, he can tell you. Although we know he can tell you. He can tell you. I wouldn't want to dox him or anything. Swedish. There we go. There we go. But Gentleman Junkie, thank you so much. How's it going? It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, I think. No. Yeah, a couple of weeks, because you weren't here last week, I don't think. What's been going on in town lately?
Well, let's see.
We're all Portuguese when listening to
Dusty
Colonel.
using some Brahmin, but that's probably the heat more than anything. Honestly, it's been real quiet. Ranger Andy's still hurt, but we got these two gentlemen snipers watching the road day and night.
This is important. These are the quests for town.
Trash out of Novak. They've been a blessing.
So those are the 3 quests of this town, I think. We haven't heard about the Brahmins yet, but we really need to mess with that. And of course, the snipers and the leg are the quests. I think there's another person that she's not talking about, but we're gonna meet them. I think. Let's not say that line. What's the quickest way out of this dump? I know the quickest way. I've been to many places. What's wrong with Boone?
Nothing that wouldn't be wrong
Property
with any
of
man
Swedish
who loses a
Empire.
wife, I suppose. Poor dear. I know he thinks she was kidnapped, but I'm not so sure she didn't just run off on her own. You could tell she was thinking about it ever since they arrived.
Huh. Really? That's the first time we hear that take. What can you tell me about his wife?
How should I put it? I guess you could say she was kinda like a cactus flower. Real pretty to look at, but there was just no getting close to her. She never did take to living here. She liked the big lights and fast living of New Vegas. I got the feeling she was trying to get Boone to leave with her, but I guess she got tired of waiting.
Okay.
Watch out for strangers.
Do you have anybody else taking care of the place around here? I wonder if I sent anything here. I didn't. Yeah. Look at your Dino T-Rex souvenir T-Rex thing. Yeah. Ooh.
Hey there.
Hey, I'm not definitely... These are keys. I didn't realize there were keys over here, but you can't pick them up. What is that? What is this thing? Ow. I don't know where it is. I'm very good at this. Don't judge me. I forget where the positions are. Yeah. Ooh. Bill of sale. Did I lose karma for this? No. See what I tell you? Inconsistent. We did get a bill of sale, though. Nighttime sniper. Manny Vargas mentioned that there is another sniper named Boone. Yes, I met Boone. And, yeah, the Khan Hospitality and the idea bill of sale. We, the representatives of the Consul Officiorum... This sounds like... the freaking Legion have to this day bargained and purchased from Jenny Mae Crawford of the Township of Novak the exclusive rights to ownership and sale of the slave Carla Boone for the sum of 1,000 bottle caps, and those of her unborn child that we haven't heard about before for the sum of 500 bottle caps. The receipt whereof is hereby acknowledged. We warrant the slave and her young to be sold healthy and slaves for life. We covenant with the said Jenny Mae Crawford that we have full power to bargain and sell said slave and her offspring. Payment of an additional 500 bottle caps will be due pending successful maturation of the fetus, the claim to which shall be guaranteed by possession of this document. From Scribonius Libudrusus et al., administrators of M. Licinius Crassus, Consul Officiorum ab Famalatus. Which is all gibberish to me. Oi!
Sulik used to say that we all had two wolves battling inside us.
I hope you're finding everything to your liking.
I did not find everything to my liking. What's the quickest way out of this dump?
You can jump out the window for all I care, mister. You got no right to come in here and start criticizing our town. Folks work hard to keep it clean and safe. We do the best we can, but still, there's always some of you finicky types that there's just no pleasing.
Isn't it interesting that it's her who says this, even though I do come across very rude. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I said, this seems like a nice town.
Well, it is. Not everybody appreciates it like they oughta.
I'd like to rent a room.
Well, I think that's a fine idea. I'll give you a good flat rate, and you can stay as long as you like. At least until the busy season comes. Sound good?
Sure.
I'm glad you can stay with us. Your room will be the one upstairs, closest to the lobby side. Here's your key. Let me know if there's anything I can do to make your stay better for you.
I was actually thinking... Okay.
Watch out for strangers.
I need to give her...
A good wolf and an evil wolf. The one that wins is the one we feed.
Yes. What is she picking up? Oh, she's confused. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. We don't pay attention to Bethesda's AI. I was gonna hire the room because I'm gonna kill her. And, you know, I figured... Oh, this is a lovely room. It's got a teddy bear in it. I wish my room had a teddy bear in it. Actually, I don't know that I wish that. Ooh. I don't think I've ever been in here. There's dirty water, dog meat, a television that we have never seen before. And a safe? Is this mine? She said it in a way that make it seem like this is mine for life. Yeah, look at all this stuff. a dresser with speech things. Cigarettes. Wait a minute. This is not a clue, is it? For the person who wants to kill us. Speaking of clue, I wonder if it is a clue for anything, but it isn't. Okay. Well, my problem is that I know... Hey, Boone, I know who... Your wife, it's bad.
You shouldn't be here. If people know we talked, they'll suspect you. And if whoever did this smells a rat, they'll have the Legion after both of us.
Okay.
Don't come here again till it's over.
Don't worry about it. I know what happened. I know what's going on. I can only tell her when Boone is upstairs, so it needs to be in the night. Which is probably going to be easy. Hey.
What's going on, man?
I was just saying hi to you.
Yeah, see ya.
Because of the, you know, you were going up there and, well, all that. Nobody's guarding the... They don't wait for each other? That sounds unsafe. So yeah, we need to come here during the night, and then we go on in front of that, and he kills her. I'm gonna need to find out where she sleeps. Because she stopped picking the things up. Because she's not there during the night, as we saw. But anyway, let's see about the cows disappearing. When the PS5 comes out, Brazilians will be able to buy the PS2. Brazilian prices are really high, aren't they? For the consoles. I remember when I was a kid. This was... How long has it been? 15 years? Yeah, 15 years. No more. Yeah, 20 years. I remember when I was 20 years ago. I remember learning about the prices of the consoles at the time, like the PlayStation even, and it's absolutely brutal. Can you kill Benny for me? Asks Mustache Man Play 64. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Can I kill Benny? Potentially. I don't remember if Benny's mean. I think I can kill anybody as long as I'm not seen doing it. But I don't remember. Anyway. Do I know this person?
Careful.
It's the important person. All over. It's that person that we definitely need to talk to. Anyway, that's going to be that for today. So thank you so much for joining me. We had a very productive stream where we freaking got friends with the NCR. That's the most important aspect of it. And I'm not dreading continuing anymore. Because I was dreading the NCR wanting to kill me. And also not being able to join up with Boone and all that sort of stuff. But Brazil is another level of corruption. I can't believe it if I tell you things that happen here. I have heard, yeah. Can you, like, rip his head off and he means it's the guy who shot you? I don't know, probably if I do a sneak attack on his head. Anyway, that's going to be that for tonight. Thank you so much for following Mustache Man Plays 64. And I'm sorry that that you joined at the end. But I always stream. I start 3 hours before now. And I stream 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's on Portuguese time. So 10 p.m. Portuguese time. And so in 2 days' time, I'll be streaming here again. So if you want to join me then, I will be here. Colonel RPG is corrupt. I am... Yes. Thank you so much. Valeu aí. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.